taste of passion, where a man meets his destiny. Oh, Maryland, you're a soul on the street, beige paint shining while the black leather breeze. Got a 518 Chrysler Rover, drive sliding smooth, with JL speakers and a Kenwood groove. Oh, Maryland, queen of every show, a timeless icon she became. Soft shine, bright charm like Monroe in the frame. Winner of the shows, queen of every scene. Dream car rolling like a lifelong dream. From best to show to best GM, to best inside where the pharaohs stand. Good guys crowned a best of motor 2024, and they'll tell that story forevermore. Top 15 in Alalosa, top 17 on the Flatland Plains, and now she's a snap-on calendar girl. September 2025 never looked the same. Her curves like a classic starlet, her glow lights up every lane. EFI on the horizon, air ride floating down the lane. Clean running muscle in her veins, born a street legend in Colorado fame. And that old magazine waited years to tell what lovers knew. From 1987 to 2016, they finally wrote the truth. Got a 528 Hemi, born a 426. Indie street legend with that heavy breathing kick. 680 horses running wild through her veins. That 3-inch exhaust sings that heavy refrain. She's Maryland.
Dreams right on her soul, white on her history in a frame.
Oh, Maryland, the 62 bubble top that earned her name.
Dreams don't come easy,
But sometimes they roll on 4 wheels, chrome, and a whole lot of soul.
Down in a small town south of Nashville, where the streetlights faded slow, I'd twist that old AM dial to a station I used to know. LAC 1510 coming through the midnight air. Those voices felt like heaven, and I was right there. Late night songs on the radio, dreaming under that southern glow. Chubby Checker twist and Richie Valens crying. The Supremes kept my young heart flying. Didn't know back then I'd ever be one of those names they'd someday see, singing my own late night song on the radio. Mom and Dad were fast asleep, but I was wide awake, with a 6-string dream and a transistor band, taking every note they'd make. Elvis shook, Buddy rolled, Ray Charles taught me soul, and somewhere in those static waves they carved my heart and soul. the show. Didn't know back then I'd ever be one of those names they'd someday see singing my own late night song on the radio. Now when I hear that crackling sound, takes me back to that sleepy town where a boy with a dream and a radio found his life in a song long ago. Late night songs on the radio, WLAC 1510 in stereo. From Chubby to the Supremes, they were fuel for my dreams. And now when they spin my tune, I smile and know it all began with late night songs on the radio. Still rolling down the two-lane line in my old 55, she still runs fine. Radio humming our favorite song, but the passenger seat's been empty too long. Wolfman Jack on the late night show, we'd sing along soft and low. Her hair in the wind, her hand in mine, two hearts racing through the summertime. Sundays and chrome, sweet summer nights, her laughter danced in the dashboard light. We were young, we were wild, we were free to roam. Now it's just me. And these Sundays in chrome. Stop by that old Dairy Queen, where she spilled her shake and kissed me clean. Back when forever was just a word, and every promise was still unheard. Sundays in chrome, sweet summer nights, her hand in mine, under small town lights. Love was a flame, and I should have known. Time melts away like Sundays in chrome. Some nights I swear I see her there, wind in her hair, laughter in the air. I close my eyes and she's still mine, that road through the hands of time. Sundays in chrome, and a heart that won't heal, chasing the past on four worn wheels. If heaven's a highway, I'm heading home to find her again. Those Sundays in chrome. 16, sweeping floors for a little pay at that old speed shop down on Highway 8. Chrome bumper shining, smell of gasoline. Those old boys taught me more than any school had ever dreamed. When that speed shop first opened up the doors, lead sleds and 32 deuce coupes rolled across the floor. T-bucket roasters and Hildebrand parts, Lakeside pipes, Offenhauser hearts. Then came the GTOs, Camaros, and Stangs. Road runners rumbling, the streets all sang. Now it's tuned by computer, ordered by mail. The sound and the rumble are gone, what a tale. Now that old speed shop's a memory on a map, replaced by condos and some online apps. Ain't no counter talk or grease-stained hands, just shipping times and checkout plans. Yeah, I miss the days when a man could stop and find a little magic in that old speed shop. Those guys behind the counter, they were wrenches through and through. They knew every bolt and gasket, what worked and what blew. Didn't need no laptop telling them what's wrong. They'd walk back, grab the part, and you'd be fixed before long. Now that old speed shop's a ghost in my mind, where knowledge came from years and time. Now it's all click, ship, and hope it fits. No handshake deals or greasy wits. Yeah, I miss the days when a man could stop and talk horsepower dreams in that old speed shop. Sometimes I drive by where that old place stood, close my eyes and smell the rubber and wood, hear the laughter, the stories, the engines roar. Wish I could walk through that glass door once more. Now it's cardboard boxes on a porch at dawn, but the heart of that shop still keeps rolling on. And every car I build, every bolt I drop, lives a piece of that soul from that old speed shop. Yeah, I was just a kid when my dreams got lit by the spark of a socket and the smell of grit. Times have changed, but I can't stop thinking about my life in that old speed shop.
This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline dreams, for the lug nuts holding tight to the wild red line scenes, for the families, the drivers, the wrench turning crews, for the chrome, the smoke, and the ones who refuse to lose. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, that's who we are. We're a culture, we're a brotherhood, we are rolling motor fire. Bill Nye bought, that's the creed written deep in our veins. We turn busted cars into legends and rust into fame. From late night garage grind to race day stadium roars, every scar on the knuckles unlocked 1,000 doors. We don't back down, we don't break, we don't fold. Every ride we build tells a story worth gold. This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline trains. Gasoline trains. stars and collages for the racers who gave everything without fail, and the fans who stand proud when the engines wail. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, this ain't a phase. It's our passion, our culture, and we'll live it to the grave. Pedal to the metal, forever in our veins. So look out, we're only getting louder from here. Nothing built strong was ever built out of fear. The road is wide open and the fire won't slow, because this isn't a hobby, this is the only life we know. Pedal down, heads high. We're not done. Pedal down, heads high. Pedal down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pedal to the Metal, the podcast where horsepower meets heart. From the shine of collector cars to the roar of race cars and the thunder of monster trucks, we've got it all. So buckle up your seatbelt, turn on the gas, and grab your favorite brew, 'cause the ride starts now. And now, here's your host, Roller.
Hey, let me hear it. Let me hear it, baby. Let me hear it. Let's make it loud for Amber Skywalker tonight. Come on, give her some love. Give her some love, lug nuts. Come on, Carter. Come on, Sean Green. Come on, Amber. Make some noise.
Roll.
All right, guys. Come on now. Come on. I'm just the host, okay? Really. No, I'm just the host. Really. Now, come on. Stop it. Save those applauses for the pretty lady that's going to be on here pretty soon, okay? Now, come on. Let's just calm down in the front row. I'll have you kicked out. Yeah, come on. They're cut off. No more serving them alcohol, okay? They're cut off. Nah, I'm just joking. Give them all they want, man. We'll give them we'll get them an Uber. We'll get them an Uber. Hey, welcome, everybody. We are going to have a good show tonight. I tell you that right now. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome for sure. I promise you that right now. We have a young lady on here that I got to spend a lot of time with through Paul Schafer Motorsports, and we got to do some fairs and different things like that. And man, this girl was bad. I mean, she was a badass. She could drive. She could drive. Really? No, I'm serious. And, we had a good time, and she had a great career, and she's doing things now with UTVs and razors and stuff like that, man. And they're just killing it, man. Anything this young lady does, she puts her mind to, she just knocks it out of the ballpark. And that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is. Sean Green, I'm glad you're doing good. I don't know if you're still in the hospital, but if you are, man, I'm glad you're watching. And if you're at home relaxing, it's better to be home than being in the hospital, brother. But yes, we do. The dressing room. I see Amber's on here. Amber, the dressing room had Doritos and stuff in there. Did you get your Doritos and your M&Ms? I don't know if she might answer that here in just a minute, but we did have Doritos in there for number one food of Amber Skywalker is Doritos. And, man, we're just going to have a good time. But right now, guys, all we're going to do is we're going to kick back and we're going to play some music and we're going to start the show at 7 o'clock, and then we'll give her a call about 7:15. Right now it's 5:55 here in Colorado, so we'll play music for about an hour, and then we have some things we want to talk about, and then we'll give her a call about 7:15, and we'll find out what she's been up to, man. I know she's been a busy lady, man. I'm telling you. Her and Sparkles. Yeah, Sparkles. Sparkles is her main machine right now. And, man, I think that thing gets way more loving than the family does. I'm telling you. I'm serious now. Let's see here. Greg Hoffman, how are you, my friend? Glad to see you on here and stuff. But, no, we'll go ahead and just jam on some music. You guys can kick back, relax, get ready, get yourself a cold drink if you want or whatever, man. And we're just going to have fun. That's all we're going to do. So let's go ahead and do one here. This one here is about John Force. I used to follow the Snake hardcore, and then after he retired and stuff, man, I'd always kind of had John Force in my wheelhouse, you know, and man, you know, there's a lot of people who don't like him, but the GOAT is the bad boy, man. There's nobody better than the GOAT in my book, you know. And I'm glad that like Jack Beckman's taken reign and stuff, and the Force name as far as sitting behind the wheel is kind of gone now, man. It's kind of history, you know. So anyway, this one here is called The GOAT. We'll be right back here on Pedal the Metal.
John Harold Force, born May 1949. The youngest of 5 kids in the small house as he resided. On reservations and in trailer parks, he learned to strive. Polio came and ended the football dreams he held inside. They call him the GOAT, king of the quarter mile, with 157 wins, always racing with style. 16-time funny car world champion, a legend supreme. John Force, the name that drives every racer's dream. Out a funny car title in 1984, 10 straight HRI championships from 1993 to 2002. Breaking records galore, every win and every mile, a part of history. He broke record times driving 337.33 miles per hour, faster than anyone could foresee. 3 daughters followed in his footsteps, strong and bold. Ashley, Brittany, and Courtney carrying the Force legacy untold. And Adria runs the day-to-day, keeping the Force team strong. God in every car and every crew where they belong. But it all came to an end on June 23rd, 2004. His engine gave out over 300 miles per hour, smashing the guard walls. They call him the GOAT, king of the quarter mile, with 157 wins, always racing with style. 16-time funny car world champion, a legend supreme. John Force, the name that drives every racer's dream. At 75, he barely survived that day, yet came back to take a win on April 6th, 2024. Capturing his 156th win, racing still in full sway. Proof that legends never fade, they only roar and thus. And then in the world of drag racing, his courage, his wins, his legacy.
Thus giving him the name, the GOAT. They call him the GOAT, king of the quarter mile, with 157 wins, always racing with style. 16-time funny car, world champion, a legend supreme, John Force forever, the GOAT, the ultimate racing dream. Oh yeah, the GOAT, man. He's awesome. He's just awesome. He's still my hero no matter what. But hey guys, I want to talk to you just for a second, man. For all my brothers and sisters out there that got a showpiece they take out to shows and they hang out with, and you know, you're just looking for something to maybe make that display pop. My partner Texas Rich, man, he makes these metal signs, and I'm telling you what, man, they are they're just awesome. I mean, they took my display and my old 73 C10 that's patinaed out, and you know, I mean, it's nothing fancy, man. It's nothing fancy. People used to glance at it as they walked by. Those who knew about a big block, they knew there was a big block in there. Maybe they stopped for a second and they took a look at it, but I'm telling you what, man, I put this I was fortunate enough to be in his episode 5 and of his C10 America magazine, and it's a digital magazine, and everybody sends their trucks in for pictures and stuff, and then he picks who he wants to have in the magazine, and fortunate enough he picked me, and you know, we had to submit pictures. I had to submit pictures. I had to write a small 2 paragraphs and about the truck and stuff like that. And then he created this really, it's a metal print, and it's just amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. And this is what my metal print, and everybody that's in the magazine gets one. Like, they don't get one, they got to buy it, but it looks like this. And this right here took my truck's display to the next level, because now people stop, they read the sign, and they find out the story about the truck and why the truck looks like that, and then they start walking around the truck, and they start taking notice of the truck, and it's just amazing. Now he makes these metal prints, and then he makes these metal show boards. Now these metal prints, they come in 11 by 14. 16 by 20 and 20 by 30, and the show board you can only get in a 20 by 30. And I'll give you his. As always, you need to have pencil and a piece of paper sitting next to your chair while you're watching the show, because I always give somebody a phone number or an email address or a website to look at and stuff like that. So, you know, you need to write this stuff down. But anyway, I mean, if you're interested, and I highly suggest if you're wanting to take your vehicle to the next level, that you get one of these. And you can get a hold of him at Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. That's Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. And he will tell you the pricing. I'm not going to go over his pricing or anything like that, because I'll mess it up. And then he'll call me and say, "Hey, Roller, you owe me some money, man. You owe me some money." But anyway, he can hook you up. He can tell you exactly what he needs to make that show board or that metal print. And when you get it, man, it's amazing. It's jaw-dropping is what it is. It's highly colored. It's very visible. It's very durable. Like, for instance, if you have if you just have an old cardboard sign sitting out by your vehicle, okay? Usually you throw that in the back because you get in a hurry going someplace, and then you throw stuff on top of it, and eventually
it U-shapes or something like that, or it gets torn. Or if you have the plastic like everybody does, you know, they did some plexiglass out there, sitting so long in the sun, the sun warps it, because on those hot days, we've all been in there, those car shows, and, you know, it warps that plexiglass and stuff like that. But these metal show boards, they won't do that. They will not do that. They stand the test of time. I guarantee you that right now. He told me a story about a friend of his that had a collection of cars and had some show boards that got from him, and his garage caught on fire. And it burnt the collection of cars up and stuff. And he was walking through the garage, the shop one day after the fire, and there was this metal show board, and it was laying down in the rubble. And he picked it up and he wiped it off, and he noticed that it wasn't marred, it wasn't bubbled, it wasn't anything. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that these things are fireproof, and neither were Rich. Okay, if the fire's hot enough, it's going to melt anything. All right, that's just the way it is. But this show board survived some pretty intense heat, and the guy cleaned it up, and it was still in just great shape. So if you're really, really interested, and I suggest highly that you throw away, because we still got time. We still got plenty of time before spring gets here, before the car shows start coming around. But I highly suggest that you get a hold of him and you get one of these metal prints or one of these show boards. And like I said, the show board only comes in 20 by 30. But the other ones you can get in 11 by 14, 16 by 20, and 20 by 30. Rich will give you all the pricing and all that. And once again, it's Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. And ladies, if you got a husband, or husbands, if you have a lady that has a car, and their birthday's coming up, or their anniversary is coming up, what a beautiful gift to give them. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean? Just a gift that keeps on giving. So anyway, make sure you do that for me, man. And tell Texas Rich that Roller sent you, okay? And maybe he'll hook you up on some kind of a deal or something like that. I'm not promising anything, but he likes to throw a deal out every once in a while. And by the way, listen to his show, C10 America. It's Monday through Friday. That's Central Time. And it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Runs about an hour. And he talks about C10 stuff. And he's got some great sponsors and stuff. And last time I checked, he had 76,000 followers. That's pretty cool. That is really, really pretty cool. So anyway, we'll get back to some music right now. This song right here is called Whiskey in the Wind. And this is on the Colorado Country album. We'll be back right here on Pedal to the Metal.
In the evening air, a moth flutters around, the porch lights glare, the gravel road stretches far and thin, where shadows dance like whiskey on the wind. Oh, whiskey on the wind, it fades, it flies like a restless heart under empty skies. The bottle's dry, the fire's gone cold, and I'm chasing dreams that I can't hold. The barn's leaned left since 95, but it still stands like it's alive. The fields lay fallow, the soil turned gray, dreams planted here just blew away. And the wind hums low, it knows my name, it whispers loss, it whispers blame. Oh, whiskey on the wind, it fades, it flies like a restless heart under empty skies. The bottle's dry, the fire's gone cold, and I'm chasing dreams that I can't hold. The stars don't shine like they used to do, the moon's just a ghost, a pale tattoo, but I swear I'll find
my mind. Oh, whiskey on the wind, it fades, it flies like a restless heart under empty skies. The bottle's dry, the fire's gone cold, and I'm chasing dreams that I can't hold.
Well, there you go, man. A little whiskey on the wind right there. I'd rather not throw my whiskey into the wind. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd rather have my whiskey in a glass. But anyway, you do what you want to do. Hey, today, man, I took out Bob, and it was such a beautiful day, man. I went on about a 25, 30-mile cruise and just, man, jammed on some music, and just everybody was in such a good mood today. Every car you passed, man, they were thumbs up, and they were doing all that stuff, man. It was just the ultimate day to have a hot rod and go cruising. The only thing I was missing is some of my brothers, and then the wind came up, and I went back home. So, but hey, this next song here, everybody's got one of these guys in their hometown, just kind of a not right in the head, you know. He just not right, man, but he happens to be really good with hot rods, and so the vehicle that he usually has is usually really fast, and that's the way that old square-bodied Johnny Rocket is. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal.
Back road where the cornfields sway, Johnny Rocket rolls at the break of day. A square body Chevy paint like the sun, big block LS, 700 horses on the run. Hill-born fuel injection feeding that fire. 700 RPO, that truck is built to intimidate, and a 3-inch exhaust really makes that truck sound. Wide profile 22s in the back, 20 up front. He rolls through town in his truck, shaking buildings and windows. That's his thing. Square body Johnny Rocket, fastest truck in town. Big block LS motor roaring, 700 RPO keeping the wheels spinning round. Wide profile wheels spinning, tires kicking up dust from the gravel to the highway. Johnny Rocket we trust. Tailgate parties under a harvest moon, vendors shining, tires kicking up a tune. Radio's playing on Merlin Hank, Hillborn fuel injection purring. You can hear them coming for miles around. Chrome bumper glinting, headlights like fire. This Chevy's got heart and it never ties. Every mile tells a story, every turn's a song. Johnny and his square body, you can't go wrong. Yeah, Johnny square body, fastest truck in town. He'll race anybody for pink slips that roll in
You know, everybody's got a friend like square-bodied Johnny Rocket. Carter, yes, you do. If you want to be in his magazine, you have to have a C10 truck, but he'll make you a show board or a metal print of your vehicle or whatever. All you got to do is just talk to him and tell him what you have. But if you want to be in his magazine, then you have to have a square, a C10 or a square body, one of the two. So, Boggin Racer, you better believe it. Thank you very much we have had some amazing guests on, lady. You're right. And Amber is the goat with some sprinkles on top. You better believe it. Yeah, here, got it right here. But anyway, let's see. You got to fix the not shareable issues you got, brother. I can help you. How you going to grow if people can't share it, brother? I have looked on every part of my my podcast here, and everything says it's public. I don't know what else to do. I'll go in again and try to find out. Maybe I'll get with my buddy Texas Rich, or maybe you can help me there or something, and we can go ahead and try to figure that out, man. I mean, I really want the help. Don't get me wrong, but everything I see shows that it's public. So I'll go in again and work on it hard to try to get it fixed. But maybe me and you can talk on the phone if you understand some place that I'm not looking right or something like that, and we can get the shareable issues fixed. So I appreciate you, man. I really do. Thank you for being in here every week. Taylor Delaney, my brother. Taylor's going to be on next week, guys. He'll be on next Sunday on the 11th, and we're going to be talking about Monster X Tour. We're going to be talking about Taylor, and it's a group you need to a page you broadcast from to share into the group. All right, well, I'll look on there and see what to go, but I'll be giving my phone number out, so maybe you get some paper and a pencil, and me and you can talk sometime this week, and you can, because, dude, I'm just telling you, I'm not technical savvy. If it wasn't for my buddy Texas Rich, I wouldn't be as far as I am right now. I mean, that's just the way it is, man, and sometimes, I just, like I've always told you guys when this show first started, I've had this baby, and this baby needs your help to grow, and I need you guys to help me grow it. So that's one of the things right there, Boggin, that you can definitely help me with, and then I owe you forever, man. I highly appreciate anything I can do for you. All right, you got to change it, and then you will get momentum for sure. Perfect, man. Thank you very much. Well, I'll tell you what, if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, and you guys would like to be on the show, first of all, you can go to my email. That's jeffrichards327@gmail.com. That's jeffrichards327@gmail.com. You can email me, or I don't care, man. I screen my calls anyway, so if I don't answer, please leave a message and I'll call you right back. But my phone number 303-919-6678. That's 303-919-6678, and then maybe we can sit down and we can talk sometime this week, dude. You call me on your time, and if I don't answer, I'm busy on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Other than that, of course, we have a Wednesday show, so maybe we need to talk before then. But I want the help, but I want to be able to have the help when it's good for you. So anyway, everybody that either muds or discos and hangs out, you always have a hangout, man. And when you call your friends, you're like, hey, for me, and when I grew up in Pueblo, it was always like, hey, let's go down to the dog pound, or hey, let's go out to Overton Road. And those were two places that we hung out. That's where the group knew where it was, and that's where we had all of our fun. And if you're into mudding, there's a certain river or a certain mud park that you guys go to all the time. Happens to be your favorite place where everything goes on, and you have such a great time. And you're like, hey man, we're going mudding this weekend. Meet me at such and such. Well, if you got a C10 truck, you always got to go to the C10 hangout.
school, the sun sinking low. The gang's all headed out, everybody knows. A little gravel road, a tailgate glow. We're rolling to the spot we call the C10 hangout. At the C10 hangout, we laugh and we fight, cranking up the tunes till the stars light the night, with cold drinks and old friend stories to shout. A little slice of heaven, that's the C10 hangout. Tailgates down, kicking back, the night feels right. The creek nearby is glimmering in moonlight. Old trucks lined up like soldiers in a row. We share our laughs and secrets only the C10 knows. Fire crackles, sparks fly high, we sing our songs to the starry sky. No place we'd rather be, no place to run. The C10 hangout shines like the setting sun. At the C10 hangout, we laugh and we fight, cranking up the tunes till the stars light the night, with cold drinks and old friend stories to shout. A little slice of heaven, that's the C10 hangout. Morning won't catch us, we're riding slow, telling tales of the night, letting good times flow. Every laugh, every song, every light in the dark draws you right in, sparks a fire in your heart. So come on down, bring your friends, don't think twice, there's magic waiting at the C10 hangout tonight. At the C10 hangout, the C10 hangout.
Man, doesn't that song just take you back to that favorite place you like to go? I know it does me. I can remember those places as a young man, and just, wow, some of the fun we had. Well, this song here goes out to all my brothers in the C10 Club of Colorado, man. I made them a kind of an anthem song, so we'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal.
I've been wrenching in the shop, trying to get mine done, dreaming about that mountain run under the Colorado sun. Every year's represented, every truck's got its shine, from the short beds to the long ones, rolling in a line.
It's more than just a club, it's a brotherhood true. Chrome and patina, red, white, and blue. Small blocks, big blocks, LS engines too. From the high plains of Parker to that Black Hawk Mountain view.
Square body show up, proud and clean. From the 60s to the 80s, every truck's the same. Stories in the paint, in the beds made of wood. Every C10's got a history, everyone's understood.
It's more than just a club, it's a brotherhood true. Chrome and patina, red, white, and blue. Small blocks, big blocks, LS engines too. I-72, it don't matter where we ride. We roll in a line with our brothers by our side. Well, C10's gleaming, chrome shining through. Every mile of memory, every rumble true. When the day is done and my C10's rolling too, I hope I get accepted by that Colorado crew. It's not just a passion, it's a heartfelt fire, rolling down the highway with that line of C10 desire. It's more than just a club, it's a family to me. A line of old Chevys as far as you can see. When those engines rumble, you know it's understood. This ain't no club, it's a C10 brotherhood too.
That goes out to all my brothers at the C10 Club of Colorado, man. What a great group they are, man. So this next song up here is a song that I wrote for a friend of mine who has several really, really cool cars and trucks. And he has this Apache, and this truck is badass. I'm sorry. It's really cool, man. It's twin turboed. It's fast. It's all patinaed out. You know, the turbo stick up so he doesn't have a hood on it. And everything about this thing is just like, this thing is scary. It just sitting there, you get scared because you know it's that fast. And he calls it Geronimo. And so I made some songs about different vehicles and stuff for him. And I told him, I said, hey, Justin, I am going to make a song about Geronimo, but I kind of want to do Indian kind of sound. You know, like we all watched them spaghetti westerns where the Indians are getting ready to attack and you hear the flutes and all that stuff in the background and different things like that. I said, so that's the thing I have in my mind, how I want it to sound. So, man, hello there, Cousin Debbie. How you doing? Anyway, this one here is called Geronimo, and this was one of the first ones that I kind of went out of my realm and used different background noises and stuff like that. And myself, I love it. So does Justin. Let's see what you guys think. There it is, Geronimo.
Bought him from a buddy just 3 miles down the road. 45 years behind me, got my own heavy load. Gave myself a present, chrome and rust and soul. A 58 Apache, I call him Geronimo. Twin turbos breathing fire, that 4.8 sings mean. 650 horses rumbling, shaking up the scene. That old patina paint looks like war paint in the sun. Every dance a story, every miles is a battle he won. Geronimo, ride with me tonight through the dust and thunder by the pale moonlight. Got a Pabst Blue Ribbon shifter and a heavy ride toe. Hear them turbos war cry, scream, they sound like Geronimo. Aluminum wheel in my hands, wind in my hair. Ghosts of the plains still whisper in the air. He was an Apache, born and proud Indian chief. And when that turbo whistles, he's still shouting that war cry, scream, Geronimo, ride with me tonight through the dust and thunder by the pale moonlight. Got a Pabst Blue Ribbon shifter and a heavy ride tow. Hear the war cry scream of Geronimo. From the canyon to the fairgrounds, every road's the same. You can feel that old chief's power running in its veins. It ain't just a truck, it's a soul on the go. A warrior reborn by the name of Geronimo. So if you see us rolling, better clear the way. Old metal and spirit still have their say. Stampede of thunder, buffalo, where the wild winds blow. That's me and my brother, a 58 Apache called Geronimo.
Well, there you go. That's Geronimo. Geronimo, man. I like that song. I love that truck, man. That truck, ooh, damn, that truck's sexy. Anyway, this next song, if you grew up, then you had a dad that was into hot rods and stuff. I had a dad that was in the car business, and he was worried more about making money than working on cars. And his motto was, you can work on your stuff after work hours, but at 8 o'clock in the morning, it better be out of my shop because it's time to go to work. So I never really got to sit down and build a hot rod with my dad. But for you folks that did get a chance to hang out with your dad in the shop and build something and just create something, man, I'm jealous. I really am. So this next song right here is called Building Hot Rods with Dad.
When I was young, I'd sit in the shop watching you wrench on those old cars non-stop, wishing I could help, just to lend a hand, learning what it meant to be a man. Then one day you turned and said, son, grab that rag. That was the best day I ever had. The day my dream began, I was building hot rods with my dad. Yeah, I'm building hot rods with my dad, turning wrenches, talking fast, 32 deuce coupe, flathead V8, Hildebrand parts, man, that car was great. A 4.9-inch satin black, Kelsey Hayes wires, red out back. You put a Stromberg 97 on that slab, man, I was building hot rods with my dad. I still remember the day we sold that ride. A tear rolled down as I stood outside. It wasn't just steel, chrome, and glass. It was the time we had that went too fast. Then I realized as that hot rod rolled away, we weren't just building cars those days. We were building memories that always last. Building hot rods with my dad. Now the years have come and gone, and the torch is moving on. I see my boy in the shop out back, watching me work like I once said. So I'll turn and smile, say, hey, give me a hand. Let's fire this motor and make it stand. Let's start them memories all over again. Building hot rods with my dad. Yeah, building hot rods with my dad. Yeah, building hot rods with my dad. Yeah, building hot rods with my dad.
Yeah, building hot rods with my dad. Guys, I'm watching your conversation in here in between. I want to start doing more on YouTube, and I post every show on YouTube. After I'm done, I come back the next day and I post it directly to YouTube. So all the shows are on there. But like as far as me doing a video on YouTube or anything, they're telling me I don't have enough viewers yet. So I'm just... Like I said, once again, I'm just a little bitty baby, and I don't know what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right here. Anyway, this next song up here is from the first album that I made, and it's called The Rodeo Champion, and the name of the album is called Colorado Country. And basically what this song is, it's about an old man that sat on the porch, and this young kid that lived down the street from him used to come down, and the old man would tell him stories about how he was a rodeo champion and different things that he won. And, you know, he never invited the kid into the house or anything. And the kid always wondered, you know, is this old man just fabricating these stories, or is it true, or whatever? Well, the young man went away to college, and he come back home one day, and the old man had passed away. So here it is right here, The Rodeo Champion.
As a kid, I lived on the edge of town. There was a man who told me stories when the sun went down. He told them like he lived them, bronc riding, bull riding too, roping calves and chasing dreams. His stories seemed so true. And then one day I came home from college, saw a sign in the yard that read estate sale. I asked what happened to the old cowboy. The young man said, my dad's gone, he hit the trail. He asked me to come inside, said take a look around. That's when I saw the trophies and the saddles on the ground. Belt buckles on the wall, red champion all around. Top hand rookie of the year and best match right in town. There was one that said most inspirational cowboy, and right then it hit me, standing silent in that room of pride. That old man was a rodeo champion. His stories weren't just dreams, they were to that old front porch where we'd sit and talk for hours. Felt the wind blow through the air, smelled the faded wildflowers. I tipped my hat and whispered low, "Ride easy, old friend. Your stories live forever, they'll be told again and again." That old man was a rodeo champion. His heart was tied to the saddle and the reins. Now every time the gate swings wide, I swear I hear his name. Yeah, that old man was a rodeo champion, and his spirit still rides on through that dusty trail.
That was Rodeo Champion, and that's off of the Colorado Country album. This next song is off of the Black Tie Soul album that just come out. Now, if you want any of these albums, we have 3 out. We have Colorado Country, we have Cruisin' the Classics, and we have Black Tie Soul. You can get these by going to my email. It's jeffrichards327@gmail.com. Or you can go ahead and call me, 303-919-6678, 303-919-6678. If I don't answer, leave a message, and I can explain to you what these albums are all about. So naturally, Colorado Country is going to be more of a country western CD or album. Cruisin' the Classics, more of a 50s style approach, running down Route 66 and different things like that. And then Black Tie Soul is a soul album. There's 12 songs on this one, and it's strictly about automobiles, and the drivers aren't mentioned or anything like that. And the biggest share of these cars are people that I know that's in the car culture up here in Colorado. And I called them up and I said, "Hey man, I'm making this soul CD," and I said, "Can I use your ride as a song?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, man, that's great." So anyway, this next song right here is called "Vindication Ride," and this is off of the Black Tie Soul CD.
76 Eldorado, 18-inch wheels, base model no more. Reborn front to back, motor, transmission, suspension, interior, everything. Gunmetal gray, burgundy top, she shines like victory. And when she rolls, I roll. Back in '94, I saw her standing in the sun, white with that red interior. That's when the love begun. Taught my baby girl to drive, her small hands on the wheel. Every mile felt like forever, every moment felt so real.
But life can cut you deep, leave you broken, hollow inside. Had to let her go to survive, but Lord, I cried.
But we came back, stronger than before. Yeah, we came back, two hearts restored. You can break a man down, but you can't kill his pride. Now every mile we roll is a vindication ride. Ooh, vindication ride. was looking, though I tried to keep it cool. Craigslist on the iPad, just a dream I shouldn't do. Then I saw her in Fort Collins, tired, pain, broken down. But my heart knew her the second that she spun around. I walked away the first time, tried to tell myself it's wrong. But Viva Las Vegas hit my spirit, and I knew where I belong.
2 years of rebuilding, every inch and every line. And when that burgundy top dropped, man, I knew she was mine.
Yes, we came back stronger than before. Oh, we came back, two hearts restored. Took a long dark road, but we found the other side. Every mile we rode is a vindication ride, sweet vindication ride. Vegas lights in the rear view, Tahoe wind on my face, Napa Sun, Highway 1, no more running from the race. San Francisco sunrise, LA waves kissing the car, San Diego nights, Phoenix heat, we came so far. They see the car,
They see the man,
they feel the scars.
we still stand,
Life tried to break us,
but we survived.
look at us riding.
Look at us alive.
Yeah, we came back stronger than before. Oh, we came back, two hearts restored. You can take my money, take my time, take my pride, but you can't touch the way I feel on that midnight ride. Ooh. 19 years together, and we're still rolling strong. And if she sold one day, that means her drive is gone. Until that moment, every road is home. And every night we ride as one.
Oh, y'all are cracking me up. You guys are just cracking me up. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, baby. If any babies are made listening to Black Tie Soul, make sure you need the boys roller, would you? Oh, guys, I tell you what, man, you're making me laugh. You really are. You really are. Amy, I seen you ask who was singing Geronimo. To give you a lowdown on what goes on, okay? I write the lyrics to the music. I put them in this AI program. I tell the AI program that I want, what quarter time, how many beats per minute, what instrumentation I want, what kind of a singer I want. Everything is computer generated. I own the rights to all these songs. There are no singers that sing this. I mean, some of the singers that this computer generates does sound like some singers. Don't get me wrong, but it's not. It's all computer generated, and I am more amazed at what the music turns out like than I am anything else. But the song worked. We are in the mood now. All right. Well, I'm going to shut up. But Amy, Geronimo and stuff, I can go ahead and I can create anything. Once again, just get a piece of paper and a pencil if you haven't wrote it down already. jeffrichards327@gmail.com. If you email me, I'll go ahead and email you back, and I can make you a CD. We can kind of put whatever songs you kind of like on there anyway. But since you're all in the mood, let's get a pack of cigarettes out, okay? And let's listen to a song about a 55 Thunderbird coming out of Pomona, California, called Black Beauty.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She rode out of Pomona, California, a 1955 Thunderbird, raven black under that desert sun, tuxedo leather wrapped around temptation, 2 seats made for lovers, riding one-on-one, long sleek hood like a midnight promise, short rear deck with a heartbreak smile, chrome jet bullets in the front keep shining. Now she runs through Colorado in that soul smooth style. Wasn't just a car, she was confidence on wheels. Every mile she drove, somebody's heart would feel. Black beauty, turning every head on every street she glides. Black beauty, luxury and power sitting side by side. From the Hollywood hills at night to the Colorado sky, she was built for romance and racing both at the same time. Oh, Black Beauty, America learned how a star should shine. Yeah, 292 V8 with 198 horses, Ford-O-Matic ready to run, lowered front end with custom wheels rolling. She didn't compete, she already won. From California boulevards to Colorado show-light, she still steals the scene every time her tires meet the ground. She saved her makeup with style and glory, started a fire only legends can pass around. She was elegance and muscle, the perfect kind of wrong. Every engine note sounded like a soul-sweet song. Black Beauty, turning every head on every street she'd glide. Black Beauty, luxury and power sitting side by side. From the Hollywood hills at night to the Colorado sky, she was built for romance and racing both at the same time. Oh, Black Beauty, America learned how a star should shine. Oh, now she plays in Colorado, on those high-mile drives. Musicians, movie kings, public figures, stars, all wanted that feeling of living above the bar. But she never needed fame, she gave it away. If you drive Black Beauty, you belong in the Hall of Fame. Smooth cruising in the Rockies on a Saturday night, heartbeat shifting, 2 souls tangled in a dash light. Black Beauty, every head, on every street she glides. Black beauty, luxury and power sitting side by side. From the Hollywood hills at night to the Colorado sky, she was built for romance and racing both at the same time. Oh, Black Beauty, forever and ever you shine. Oh, raven black, tuxedo dream, romance and speed in perfect harmony. California born, Colorado royalty. Hey, yeah. Oh, oh, hey.
All right, I think I'm going to lose a lot of you guys here in a minute if I play any more of this Black Tie Soul stuff, man. You guys are cracking me up, dude. I'm serious. You guys, this is fun. This is why I like doing this, is the only reason why. But Boggin Racer, to get to answer with you, man, it is fun. I mean, I know, I can tell the fun that you have. I wish I could sing. I can't carry a tune worth a darn. But I have enjoyed making all 3 albums and all the other songs that I create. I just love the way they come out and stuff. And I really, you're right. What is the future going to be like for people that, you know, have the gift of being able to sing and not... And then you got a guy like me that has a motorsports podcast, and all of a sudden he's making CDs and he's selling music and everything like that, and it's really kind of crazy. But Black Tie Soul really has taken off ever since we've been able to put it on thumb drive. The CDs are $13 with shipping and everything. The thumb drives are $15 with shipping and everything. So that kind of gives you guys an idea of what's going on. You know, we're not too far away from getting a hold of Amber and calling her. But this last song I'm going to play right here, and then we have a song that I made for Amber, and we'll play that. I wasn't going to play that without her being on the show. But anyway, my dad was fortunate enough to be in the car business and travel up and down the road into Amarillo, Texas, Lubbock, Texas, and he fell in with a group of guys that were they were big time gamblers, and they loved to enjoy themselves, and they had a lot of fun. And this one guy, his name was Jimmy Ray Brock. Jimmy Ray Brock, he dabbled in music and stuff like that, and he got to go on the road for a month with Willie and Waylon. And I can remember stories of him telling me how crazy the times were and stuff like that. And anyway, so I wrote a song, and it's called Month on the Road. And this is about this guy, Jimmy Ray, that spent a little time on the road for a month. I said it was the longest month of his life.
Packed up the bus, tires hitting the line, sun rising early, whiskey on my mind, Willie strumming low, Waylon growling deep, the boys laughing loud, no one got no sleep. Big city lights, crowds waiting outside, girls in the front row, eyes open wide. Every night a story, every mile a song. That month on the road felt way too long. Oh, a month on the road with Willie and Waylon, bright lights, loud nights, and the songs go on. Smoke in the air, cold drinks in our hands, singing with the boys all across this land. Every city, every crowd felt alive. The longest month of my damn life. Yeah, the music never stopped, the fun never died. Just me, Willie, Waylon, and the boys on the ride. Tour bus nights, guitar strings humming low, laughing, joking, watching the neon glow. Every bar we hit, Every stage we played, hearts beating fast, memories made. Girls in the crowd, boys in the back, smoking laughter along every track. The highway stretched, but we didn't care. With Willie Whalen and the boys everywhere. Oh, a month on the road with Willie and Whalen. Bright lights, loud nights, and the songs go on. Smoke in the air, cold drinks in our hands, singing with the boys all across this land. Every city, every crowd felt alive. The longest month of my damn life. Yeah, the music never stopped, the fun never died. Just me, Willie Whalen, and the boys on the ride. The lights fade slow, the bus hums low. Stories and laughter everywhere we go. The whiskey warms, the guitars wail. That month on the road, we couldn't fail. Oh, a month on the road with Willie and Whalen. Bright lights, loud nights, and the songs go on. Smoke in the air, cold drinks in our hands, singing with the boys all across this land. Every city, every crowd felt alive. The longest month of my damn life. Yeah, the music never stopped, the fun never died. Just me, Willie Whalen, and the boys on the ride. If I close my eyes, I can hear that sound. The guitars, the laughter, the wheels rolling down. That month lives on, etched in my mind, with Willie Whalen and the boys for all time.
You know, just to be able to say that you were on the road with them two guys would be crazy. Wow, what a time. So, hey guys, we'll be right back here in a minute, and we're going to be calling Amber, and we're going to pay a little bills right fast, hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll get ready to start the show. So we'll be back here in just a minute. This is Roller on Pedal to the Metal. Hey Lugnuts, take a look at our new partner, 6ix9ine Graphics and Design. A small design and marketing company big on personalized service. They work close with you to get your business noticed with graphics that stand out and get attention. 6ix9ine Design focuses on stickers, decals, and graphics for your hot rods, custom projects, or business marketing. 6ix9ine Design also includes logo design, brochures, signs, business cards, banners, custom apparel, vehicle graphics, and much more. Remember, that's 6 and the number 9 graphics and design. Or go to 6ix9design.com or find them on Instagram at 6ix9design. Hey Lugnuts, need pick me up to start your day? Then it's time to go to Rise and Grind. At Rise and Grind Coffee in Parker, Colorado, you'll find everything from bold espressos to creamy lattes to refreshing chai teas and smoothies. Whether you love it regular or decaf, we've got the perfect cup waiting for you. Hungry? Grab a hot breakfast burrito and a fresh muffin to go with your drink. And don't forget to check in on our merchandise. Perfect gift for any coffee lover. Planning on an event? Rise and Grind brings coffee to you with our family-equipped portable coffee trailer. Perfect for weddings, meetings, celebrations of any kind. Stop by 475 Singing Hills Road in Parker or give us a call at 480-212-3787. That's 480-212-3787. Rise and Grind Coffee, fueling your day one cup at a time. Hey Amber, I'll be calling you here in a minute. We're getting ready to start the second half of the show. So after the intros, I'll go ahead and I'll be calling you right here in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pedal to the Metal, the podcast where horsepower meets heart. From the shine of collector cars to the roar of race cars and the thunder of monster trucks, we've got it all. So buckle up your seatbelt, turn on the gas, and grab your favorite brew, 'cause the
man. Come on now. You know, I don't know about the audience here in the studio, but my goodness, the audience online, they're smoking cigarettes and kicking back and smoking another cigarette, kicking back, and some of them might even be sleeping. And in 9 months, might be a couple of new rollers running around. And I'm not saying I was in there, now don't get me wrong. But they're going to name that baby after me after playing Black Tie Soul, baby. And that's what I'm talking about for sure. But calm down, guys. Calm down. You know, we're gonna start the show here in just a second. We're gonna call Amber on the phone. We're gonna have fun, man. We're gonna have a good time. We've had such a good time. This is probably the funnest music portion of the show that I've ever had. And congratulations to everybody that's in here having might be new cars, and you never know, man. You never know for sure. But anyway, it's been the best time. I have laughed more just watching you guys comment back and forth. And my brother Taylor's in here, man, and he's going to be on next week. And Taylor, you're going to be on one day before my birthday, brother. That's going to be a good one. We're going to have to celebrate somehow together while you're on the show. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate you guys hanging in for the music portion of them. And if we can handle 2 Jeffs, that's about the truth, Debbie. That is about the truth. But anyway, we're going to have a good time tonight, man. This young lady here, she started out, and I don't want to get in and ruin her story, but she just started out as a physical therapist, and she just went to a monster truck show, and the rest was history, man. And I'm going to let her tell the story and everything like that, man. So just a good time it's going to be right here. And I'm going to go ahead and let's just do this right fast and get her on the line for a second here. And let's go here. All right, we're gonna give her a call here, and it's ringing. Yes, hello. Hello. Yeah, this is Charlie Chin's. We have your shorts already at the cleaners. You want to call back and get your shorts ready?
No, I'm actually really busy. I was listening to this really sensual music on Facebook. And yeah, me and my husband have something we need to do. So I'll have to get back with you on the shirts.
So you don't want fried rice with that either?
No, I'm good for a while.
Oh, you guys were cracking me up. I'm telling you, you were cracking me up, man. I'm serious. This has been the funnest time and I'm not joking, that I've had so far just playing the music. And it really is. There's so many different people in here, interacting and stuff. And it looks like I'm going to get some help here from a lot of people. And, I want this thing to get big. I want it to grow and do all that stuff. So anybody that can offer any help, I'm down for. But before we go,
I hope it does.
Me too. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go any farther, I want you to give a big round of applause for Miss Amber Skywalker!
Hey, everybody.
Come on, give her some love. Give her some love now. Give her some love. Yeah, that's what it's all about. There's a couple rowdy ones in here, Amber. We'll get them kicked out or settled down, one or two. You back there in the back. Put your clothes back on. You put your clothes back on. My God, this is getting to be bad. This is getting to be bad. I'm telling you. You guys calm down. So Amber,
you started it with the music.
I guess I did. Jennifer Fagan's in the house. Hi, Jenny. How you doing? Long time. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All that good stuff. But Happy New Year, Amber. How you been?
Oh, good. How about you?
I've been good. I really have. Christmas was chill. And New Year's Eve was chill. We did a New Year's Eve show and played some Bob Trent's on here. Wow, hey buddy, how you doing, man? But anyway, yeah, it's just been, the show has really taken a following. We got some people that we're going to do, and I got to have you back on because we're going to do a tribute story to Dan, and we're going
No,
to do that this summer. I still get a little,
that'd be awesome.
yeah. I'm not ready yet. I still get emotional about it because, man, I just loved him. He was my brother, So
Yeah.
we're gonna do a tribute, and I want people to call in and tell their Dan Rente stories and stuff like that. So
Oh
we
my. That'll
when
be fun.
oh, it will. I mean, there's going to be some good ones, and I want Trent on there too, and everybody, But so Amber, let's just start. Okay, you got tickets to a monster truck show, and now the microphone is yours, girlfriend. Talk.
Oh gosh. I was in college and I think in high school really it started hanging around people that had trucks and stuff. So I was becoming very interested with the whole mechanical aspect of things and went to some mud bogs and stuff. But I went to the monster truck show, I believe it was in Terre Haute, Indiana, and I was in the grandstands and out came this truck and of course the announcer was like 572 Keith Black Hemi and barefoot and it just made your hair stand up. You were so excited and just to hear the rumble of this thing. And I remember I was watching Brian Womack give an interview, and I was looking at him and the truck, and something just spoke to me and said, "You are going to drive that specific truck someday." And I knew it. I knew it just right away that that's what was going to happen. So I go back to college and we're all getting ready to study for our state board exams and everything and talking about where we want to work after we get out of college. And I said, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm driving a monster truck and that's what I'm doing. So, of course that erupted in a lot of laughter, but I was on a student internship at a hospital in Seymour, Indiana, and I was driving towards North Vernon, and this was like right after the show. It all kind of happened very quickly. And I see this monster truck by the road. And I thought, well, isn't this a coincidence? I better stop. So I pull over, and there was this long lane to this building. And the monster truck was just out by the road on display, which, was probably an unusual thing for that truck to do. But I was looking at the truck, and up walked this tall guy. And he had a beard and mustache, and he had this special way of talking. He was like, "Can I help you?" And it was Tony Farrell.
Oh wow.
And I said, "Oh, I just felt compelled to stop and look at this monster trucks." And he said, "You like monster trucks, do you?" And I said, "Yep, and I'm actually a driver. I just haven't driven yet." And of course, he thought that was hilarious. So he was showing me the truck, asking me some questions. I was able to point out some parts, and anyway, he was like, "Well," he goes, "I just sold this truck to Paul Schafer, and we're doing a show in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend." And he said he's looking for a girl driver, and I said, "Well, isn't he lucky I'm here?" And so Tony said, "Well, I tell you what," he said, "you come down." He said, "Just go to the back gate, tell him you're with me, and I'll get you in." And so it was that coming weekend. So I had a few days, and a part of the story that just tickles me was I was a huge Shania Twain fan back then, still am. And I thought, what would Shania Twain wear? And since I had no racing experience other than I won a mud bog in a four-wheeler at the county fair, I was like, what should I wear? So I channeled her music video, "You Win My Love," and I said, yep, I got to have leather pants. That's it. So I go to the store and I find leather pants to buy and have this little outfit, and I go down and meet Paul, and Tony introduces me, and we talk during the show, and Paul was pretty ready to hire me. And then he asked me how old I was. And I said, well, I'm 19 years old. Very proud of that, that I was 19. And he had his son Paulie there, who was probably 6 or 7. He was pretty little, and he said, "Well, I already have a kid. I don't want to raise another." And oh boy,
Wah,
I
wah,
thought
wah.
if he would have said you don't have experience or anything other than my age, I think I would have been all right with it. So I'm sure horse tears were starting to well up. And he said, "I tell you what, come to some shows, get acquainted with the trucks, the whole scene." And he said, "Then I'll probably let you drive." So that spring and summer, I hung around a little bit and went to some shows. And I was at the Indy Jamboree, and Brian Womack, who at the time Paul did own the barefoot truck that told me
Right.
it was going to drive it, was there. And so Paul had Brian showing me stuff. So Brian was like, "You know what? I'm going to teach you how to run valves on this truck." And I was like, "Really?" So I was sitting there doing it, and he went up to Paul and said, "Hey, she's catching on to this stuff awful quick." He said, "If you don't hire her, someone else will." So Paul said, "All right, you got to have a fire suit and a helmet." And so I collected all my little belongings that I thought I needed. I had no clue at all, really,
Right.
what I needed. I set out on a mission, had a little fire suit made. I was so excited. And so my first show, it was in June of 2001 in Dayton, Ohio.
Home of
So
Bobby
that,
Holman.
so that was it. That was the story.
Wow. So, I mean, at first, when you thought, well, I'm not going to get to drive this truck, I mean, what went through your head then besides the crocodile tears?
Oh, I was devastated. But then I know there was a part of me that was like, "Well, that's okay. There's Monster Jam. I can look around," because I
Right.
just knew that I was going to drive a monster truck. So I was bound and determined that I wasn't just going to let that go.
Right, right.
So big moral of the story for people: if your gut tells you something and you're really drawn to something, you just got to go for it.
Guaranteed you have to go forward. That's just the way it is. But, so what was the first truck you drove for Paul then? What was the one you piloted first?
Boogie van. And
Boogie Van.
I hated that truck so much. In a way. In a way.
Yeah, but I mean you were living your dream then, so
Oh, I was.
that had to be your kind of your pride and joy at first there for a minute.
Oh, it definitely was. It definitely was. I still always had my eye on barefoot. I did.
Right.
But oh, it was a dream come true. It was a very hard life because, I had to be the mechanic too.
Sure.
Trying to learn how to drive, how to work on these trucks. Just, it was a big stepping stone.
Oh, guaranteed. And I mean, just never being around it, and all of a sudden, and this all happened within what, a year's time, 6 months. That's
About a year.
that's
Yeah.
that's pretty fast, though. I mean, one day you're going to physical training to be a physical trainer, and then all of a sudden you're sitting behind the wheel of a monster truck. Yeah. So what was it like in your very first competition behind the wheel, motor running, and you're like, okay, this is it. I'm here. My dream's happening right now. What's going on? What's going on in your brain? Talk to us.
Well, I'll tell you the embarrassing part of it. I showed up and I was a nervous wreck. I don't think I ate all day because, I had no idea what to expect at all, and never driven anything more than a couple hundred horsepower.
Right.
So I show up, and Paul had one of the other drivers get in the truck with me and show me all the bells and whistles. I'd never even moved a truck around. I had never even started one.
Uh-huh.
And day of the show, teach me how to use the rear steer, watch your oil pressure, all this stuff in my head. I got to try to remember that and then figure out how to drive. So Paul said, "Well, romp it through the grass here real quick." Well, let me tell you, I put my foot in that throttle and it threw me back so hard my foot came right off the pedal, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was not expecting that much
Right.
horsepower and torque. And so then that was it. Paul said, "You'll be all right." He said, "You'll be good." So I pulled to the starting line, and I mean, internally, I really was a wreck because I thought, what if I just do horrible? What if this goes bad? All these people are watching. I've never driven. Um, so I take off, and no one had even told me that throttle was your friend, So I would let out of the throttle before I landed, and it was a rough, rough ride.
Oh, yeah.
My seat didn't fit me. My belts weren't exactly as tight as they should have been. So I pulled to the pits, and I got bounced around in there so bad. I hit my ankle on the brake pedal really hard, and I could feel my shoe just filling up with blood. And Doyle Schmidt, that drove for Paul, he climbs up in there, and I was still white knuckling that steering wheel, and he said, "You all right?" And I said, "Boy, that was a lot rougher than I thought it was going to be." And he said, "Well, you got to stay in the throttle." So he coached me through it. Next pass went much better, and by my third race, I was starting to win some races and getting better at freestyles. But it was getting thrown in there,
Right.
to the wolves.
Oh, well,
But
that's exactly the way you learn, though.
but I wouldn't change it. I laugh about it. That I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this. I had that moment of what did I get myself into?
Right.
But I knew that it would get better, and I knew I would start doing better. So
who was your first race against? Who'd you race for your very first race?
I have no idea. I'm sure it was one of Paul's crew. I honestly don't remember because he had Barefoot, Monster Patrol, Boogie Van,
Yeah.
Carolina Crusher, Wild Thing, Rampage, and I'm pretty sure that the Austin 316 truck was there. That group with Calvin Carrington.
Was it out then?
I think so.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure Calvin Carrington was there and his crew, but I could be wrong.
Right. Well, that's probably the truth because Calvin was at a lot of them shows. I know that for sure, But so it comes into your very first freestyle. Talk to us about freestyle. I mean, you're supposed to go out there and really put on a show for these people, and this is your first time behind the wheel. How did that go?
Well, I didn't freestyle at the first show. I think Paul realized, like, okay, she needs a minute to learn the ropes. So he didn't have me freestyle at that show. And our next show was in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
And I was more excited about freestyle. I was nervous about it, but I was more excited, not having to worry about racing, but it felt like more of my time to get to know the truck and get to know what to do. Well, so it was fun.
Well, good. Taylor's on here, Delaney, and he wanted to know, did you work with Norm Miller?
The name sounds familiar.
It's a blur sometimes. People ask me the same thing, they go, "Hey, did you work with this truck and this truck?" And I was like, I was busy the very first few years of my career running from people that were chasing me up dirt hills and stuff because they thought it was funny. And, that was what monster truck drivers did. But, I mean, I can just see, you're out in there trying to learn stuff and you don't have time to remember everything, who you're going up against and what you're doing, except for driving, correct?
Mm-hmm. But a funny thing, after my first freestyle, I think it was the very next show, we were in Bedford, Indiana. Uh-huh. It was pretty early. And Doyle Schmidt was quite the instigator. So it was getting time for freestyle. And he said, "Amber, come here." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Oh, my gosh." He goes, "Put it in second gear and creep up to the cars as slow as you can and just nail that gas as hard as you can." And I said, "Okay." So I think I might have been first to freestyle, so the cars were really fresh.
Right.
And I do it. And I launch Boogie Van. I mean, way up in the air. And when I land, all I see is Paul Schafer standing there with the kill radio, holding it up, pointing to it, that he's going to shut me off. And that really set the tone for almost most of my freestyles, because I would be doing stuff and I'd look over out of the corner of my eye and there I'd see Paul with the radio. He would just know, and he would point at it like, you're going to get it if you don't. But the best part about the kill radio, oh my gosh, we were out in Iowa racing, and I was racing Scott Chisholm in Carolina Crusher. Well, I get over the cars and I won, and I went to let off the throttle, and my throttle was stuck.
Oh.
And thank God we were in this wide open field. So I'm getting ready to shut my truck off, and Scott thought I was showboating and being a jerk. So he comes up behind me, run, run, run. And I'm like, Scott, go away. I got to shut this truck off. So I'm getting close to the fence, and I shut the truck off and skid it sideways. And I go back to the pits. And before I talk to Scott to tell him what happened, I was looking for Paul. And I walk out on the track, and Paul's just standing there. And I said, Paul, why didn't you shut me off? My throttle was stuck wide open. And he was like, and I was like, where were you? Because he was out on the track. He wasn't racing. He was, lining us up and flipping the lights and running the radio. Well, I don't know if he had the poops or something that day, but there was a porta pot out there on the track, and Paul was in the porta pot. And I said,
no.
The one time I need you to use the radio.
Yeah, exactly.
You're hanging out in the porta pot.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it was a riot.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. You put your trust in people like Paul and Taylor and everything. Even me, I used to always carry the RII, and man, you're going, these guys got my back. If something happens, they definitely have my back and stuff. And then that happens to you, or you get somebody like Don King that's sliding across a concrete floor upside down, and I shut him off, and he comes out of the truck and he goes, what the hell were you doing? I could have saved it. And I said, bullshit. All four tires are pointed straight in the air, and you're going across on the lid of that truck. There was no way in hell you're going to save that truck. So, yeah, it's one of them calls. It's just one of those calls, that you don't know, but it's really good to have somebody out on the track with an RII for sure.
Paul never shut me off, not one time. And I think about that after he threatened me so much. We would be at a show for someone else, and he would see me creeping up to the cars to freestyle. And by God, somewhere he'd have a radio and be pointing at it. Like, you went and got one of our radios just to threaten me.
Well,
which always cracked me up.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work. I just did what I wanted anyway.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I remember one time do you remember Jess Berge?
Oh, yes.
Jess, he was very passionate when he was out there running, and I accidentally bumped the RII and shut his truck off. And he come over after that run, and I thought, well, this is where you die. This is the time that you die, because this big mountain of a man is going to drive you into the ground. And he said, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I'm going to let you get away with that. Because I told him, I said, Jess, I just bumped the button. I'm sorry. He said, I'm going to let you get away with that. But he says, if you do it again, he said, I will take and put you in little pieces in every one of these cars and run over them personally myself. And I was like, okay, I won't do that no more. I promise you that. So even when he was out of control or needed me to shut off, it was always one of those ones, do I do that or not? I don't want to die. But no, it's a tough business when you're running that radio for somebody, and you especially somebody that's new like you were, and you're like, okay, does she have this? Does she not have this? Should I shut her off? And sometimes by the time you think of all that, it's too late, so you got to make that instant call and then apologize later on, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So after Boogie Van, you get into one of the wrestling trucks, correct?
No, I got in the Kevin Harvick Kid Rock truck.
All right.
Which there's a whole exciting story with that if you want to hear it.
This is your show, okay? I'm just hosting it. So we want to hear all the stories. I know everybody on here is not just sitting here wanting to listen to me. So yes, we want to hear any of the stories. So if I get ahead of the game, just say roller, I'm going to have to bring out the RII, okay? And that means for me to slow down a little bit.
I've never had the RII before.
Well, it's power. It's kind of like I can stop you if I want, but no, go ahead. Let's talk. Let's hear the story.
So back to the barefoot truck I said I was always going to drive.
Right.
So Brian Womack quit driving for Paul, and Brian said to Paul, "Hey, you should give this truck to Amber." He did not. Paul actually drove at a show. He hated that barefoot truck. He was actually terrified of it the one time I saw him drive it. And then I think BJ Johnson drove it for a little bit.
Yes, he did.
So I was always so upset with Paul for not letting me have that barefoot truck because I just knew it said I was going to drive it. I had to drive it. So he tells me about this big deal he got with some of the NASCAR trucks. He had the smoke truck, the Kevin Harvick Kid Rock truck, and the Dale Jr. truck. So anyway, this was all in the works, and we were talking, and I end up in a show for Monster Jam. And I was sitting around talking to Jeff Bursey, and Paul wasn't at the show. I think I might have been there alone. But I was telling Jesse just how upset I was that, or Jeff, I'm sorry, that I didn't get to drive this barefoot truck, and Paul keeps giving it to other people. And he said, "Well, what does Paul say when you ask him about it?" And this is a true story. Paul said, "Well, if you would dress nicer or wear makeup or take care of yourself better and wouldn't be so dirty all the time, I'd put you in that truck." And
my God,
I said, "Well, fine. You make me work on the truck. I'm not going to look like a beauty queen out there." So anyway, I was telling a bunch of the guys at this race about it, and Jeff was like, "Seriously?" He was like, "What's Paul's phone number?" So he calls Paul and blocks his number, and Paul doesn't answer. He leaves a voicemail, and he makes up some name and said he was with Monster Jam. And he said, "Hey," he said, "I'm calling. If you give me a call back, that's great." He said, "I'm trying to hire Amber." He said, "I was wondering if you had a contract with her, and if not, we're ready to move forward with trying to get her on our team." And he went on and said, "Oh, you should see her. She's driving so good this weekend, and her hair and makeup and outfit are just perfect. She is just so perfect." And he tells this to Paul, in a voicemail. So Jeff hangs up, and he's like, he didn't answer. So we sit there for a couple minutes, and my phone starts ringing, and it's Paul. And like cell phones were, just getting a little more popular. I don't think we could even text back then. And so I was like, "You guys, it's Paul." We're all sitting in the back of this pickup truck. And Paul always, I don't know if you've noticed him do it, but when he would get excited, he'd go. Yeah. So he calls and goes, What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just sitting here getting ready for the show." And he goes, Can I talk to you about something?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Are you happy driving for me?" And I said, "Well, sometimes." So we kind of go back and forth. And he goes, "Well, what would make you happier?" And I said, "More money and that barefoot truck." And he was like, okay, I'll make it happen. Paul was historically kind of bad about telling me something would happen, and it never did happen, especially for me. So I was kind of jaded by it. I was like, yeah, it's never going to happen. So I have a show coming up in Boogie Van. And so I drive up north to the shop, and I was getting ready to drain the oil and run the valves on it and do some maintenance. And Paul comes out there, and he said, "Did you see the body on the Kevin Harvick Kid Rock truck?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And I was being hateful. This bottom line, I was being hateful. And he says, well, I just had the motor freshened up on it. He was like, I need to start it up and get it get it timed. He was like, will you come over and help? Well, those trucks don't have a park in them.
Right.
So better for someone to be in there.
Sure.
And I said, no, do it yourself. I didn't want any part of it. So finally he said, if you don't go get in that truck, I'm going to fire you. And I said, fine. And so I climb up in the truck, and I had a very little junior dragster seat that I raced in. I loved that seat.
Uh-huh.
And so anyway, I climb up in the Kevin Harvick Kid Rock truck, and there's my seat. And I see Paul looking at me through the back of the Lexan, and he was like, it's yours. So kind of tricked him into getting into the truck I wanted to drive.
Well, that's cool, though. I mean, it worked out. The phone call and everything else, and your attitude and stuff, it all worked out great, though.
And I don't know that Paul knows that that's what happened. That's what makes it even funnier.
Yes. Well, if he was listening, if he was happened to be listening tonight, then that would he would be the first time he'd know about it, and he'd probably be a little bit upset. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Probably not.
No. He was such a cool guy to work for. I really enjoyed it. I remember when the Stone Cold. We were at a fairground, and I don't know if you were at that fairground or not.
I have a story about that too.
When the
Stone Cold impersonator.
Yes, were you at that show too?
Yes, and I remember that clearly because my dad thought he was the real Stone Cold.
Oh, he looked exactly like him.
And my dad followed him around everywhere.
Yes.
And I was like, Dad, that's not the real Stone Cold. I was like, you're stalking a guy who shaves his legs. Because I looked. And my dad was like, no, it's not. It's really Stone Cold. I said, Dad, his vest says even colder on it. It's not Stone Cold.
Well, you're so right. I mean, but this guy was massive. And Paul comes up to me and he goes, I need you to kind of follow this guy around and make sure people don't get in any trouble with him or anything like that. And we both, me and the impersonator, looked at each other, and I was like, I'm your bodyguard, so do you just get in trouble, you call me. And here I'm like, come up to his belly button, But yeah.
And then there's my dad hovering around.
But it was such a cool time, and that's some of the biggest, funnest things I remember about working for Paul Schafer. It was all them good shows like that, And
I think that show was Valparaiso.
Yeah, you know what? I know it was, because the fact is, I think you drive from Chicago to get into Valparaiso, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I remember I had to drive back. That was the first time into Chicago, and I got stuck between all these semis, and I couldn't see the signs, and it was a nightmare. No GPS, none of that stuff, But yeah, it was good times had by all, and that's when we started working together. Is when around in that time, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really was. But so how long did you drive Kevin Harvick's truck for?
I'm trying to remember. Over a year, somewhere between a year and 2 years.
Uh-huh. Now, what was one of your funnest shows?
Well, I think most of the fun was the shenanigans behind the scenes.
There was always that.
Yeah, I think it was just hanging out with some of my good friends. Like, I would say Doyle Schmidt was probably one of my very best friends.
He's a good guy.
And we got sent to places sometimes for a whole week together, and it was nonstop shenanigans with porta pots and you name it, which could get you in trouble.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one of my favorite shows was when we did Vegas, because I'd never been to Vegas as an adult, which is really exciting when you're from Indiana, because you get to take your adult beverage in the car with you.
Right. Yes.
And I really, really thought that I was like criminal activity. It was so exciting because they were like, hey, let's go to this other place. And I said, I haven't finished my drink. And they're like, you bring it with you. And I swear I was in the back of that taxi. Like I had a trophy or something, just driving around with it in the window. Like, everyone, look, I I have a beverage.
I'm drinking an adult beverage.
I'm drinking a beer in a car, and people are watching me do it.
Exactly. That's Vegas for
Yeah,
you. That's Vegas
I was
for
a
you.
badass.
So tell us about the Bill Payne story.
Oh my! Well, that was fast forward to my last show with Bigfoot. Had to go up to Montreal, Canada, which was an experience because I had not been racing out of the country before.
Uh-huh.
And so I flew into New York and drove the rest of the way, which I tell you, back then, GPS was weird. Instead of like merging, once you got into Canada, your GPS was like slide to the right or slide to the left. And I thought, what is going on up here in Canada? Like even the GPS was different. I don't know what it's like now, but that tickled me. So we get up to Montreal and get the trucks ready. And before the show, I can't remember if it was Joey Sylvester, somebody there came up and warned me. They said, hey, Bill Payne hates Bigfoot. And he says he's going to hit you on purpose because we were racing side by side over school buses on this big turning course. And the stadium is huge there. It is enormous. So, of course, I had to race him first round. And we take off the line, and I'm watching him. I'm watching him hard out of my corner of my eye. And I thought, I just need to get ahead of him and just get it over with. So he comes off the first bus and he's bouncing and bouncing. And so I just gun it to get to the corner first. Well, I get to the corner first and he just broadsides me, just hits me. And at first I thought, man, I didn't think I turned hard enough to catch traction. Like I thought I had done it at first. So I get way up on my side on two tires and steer into it and I bring it down and they hit the radios and shut us off. So I'm in front of Bill and I can't see what's happened, what's going on. And I went to go start up my truck and the track official was still holding his hand up like, stop. Well, then I hear Bill Payne fire up and just take off and finish racing. So I didn't understand what happened until after I got done. I fired it up and I suspected that he hit me. But then when I stopped, they showed it again on the Jumbotron and he did. He plowed into me on purpose.
All right.
And then they let him finish the race and win, which was pretty crappy, but it's a show. It's just a show.
The show must go on, I guess, huh? But see, now, Amber, I give you permission to hit the RII on me, and you didn't do that because we jumped clear into Bigfoot, and that should have been saved for a Bigfoot story. I thought that was one of Paul's stories.
Well, that's all right.
So you should have said, Roller, I just pushed the RII, and I just would have went,
That's all right. We got to get the good stuff in before people leave.
But it's still good. They're not going to leave. We still got a lot of people in here and stuff like that, so they're not going to go anywhere. But, why don't we do this? Why don't we, you'd think of some more stories right fast, but why don't we play your song?
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. This year in 2026, any guests that I have on Sundays, I'm going to make them their own song. And I made Jim Kramer one. And I'll play that a little bit later for you when he was on. And then I made Shane Plato one for him. And then the other day I called Amber and I said, hey, I'm going to make a song about you. What is your favorite genre and all that? And she told me. And so I got some information from her and I come up with this song. So she's heard it. She's approved it. So we're going to play it. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Pedal to the Metal, making its debut, Miss Bigfoot.
July 7th, 1980, Jackson, Michigan. This is how legends start. On the Midwest rain, July heat,
gasoline veins. PT books in her trembling hands when fate showed up in the grandstand. Monster lights, barefoot grin, said one day girl you'll be driving one of them. Crowd noise hit like a loaded gun. She didn't laugh, she locked it in. Dreams don't whisper, they break your chest. When you hear them clear you don't second guess. I'm a Skywalker, foot on flame, no fast track, no borrowed name. From dirt track hope to steel and thunder, she didn't wait, she went under. I'm a Skywalker, let her fall, built from grit, not luck at all. Early 2000, doors cracked wide. Tony Farrell said you should meet this guy. Paul Schafer put her on cruise, said learn the ropes, prove it's you. Only race was a county fair, four wheels dust, fearless stare. Brian Womack saw what they missed, taught her bolts, gave her a fist. Told Paul straight, don't let her go, she's got fire you can't outgrow. No resume, no safety net, just hunger loud enough to place the bet. Amber Skywalker, 20 years old, Dayton, Ohio, boogie van roll. Crowd stood up when the engine screamed. That wasn't luck, that was destiny. Boogie van from 01 to 5, Kevin Harvick, Kid Rock ride. Monsters of Destruction 2005, St. Paul finals came alive. Took out Bigfoot, took out Paul, last race win, dropped them all. And she stepped back. Family life, a different grind. Legends don't quit, they realign. 2010, the phone rang loud. Bigfoot calling, 35 years proud. Interview lights, blue steel frame. Miss Bigfoot carry the name. Four-wheel jamborees, coast to coast. Salt Lake, Vegas, held it close. Montreal night, dirty hit. Bill Payne tried to roll the rig. She stayed upright, middle finger high. Yeah. He can kiss her ass goodbye. Amber Skywalker still standing tall. When steel tries to break, she doesn't fall. History moved when she took that seat. Blue steel queen on a four-wheel beat. 2011 Polaris dream. Small races, bigger schemes. Hill climbs burning 2015 live. First woman ever backflip fly. Gravity blink, crowd lost breath. She stared fear straight in the face. Crash City born, 16 steel walls, welding sparks and late night calls. Sprinkles live, sparkles reborn, tube chassis heart, turbo swarm. Built it herself, learned every seam. Fabricator blood, gasoline dreams. Amber Skywalker forged in fire, from monster trucks to mountain wires. No script, no crown, no easy lane, just broken knuckles and earn a claim. Amber Skywalker, hear it roar when the engine screams. She wants more, legends fade, she accelerates. Built to rise, built to dominate. Jackson, Michigan, Scottsburg nights, Crash City lives, and this one's still climbing.
love that song. That one come out really good. I really like that one. I really did. So Bob Trent's on here, and Bob said she did a great job representing us. Bog and Racer
Thank you,
said,
Bob.
Bog and Racer said, nailed it with the song. It's her style, her vibe. So I think we did get really close because I told you I wanted you to be honest, and the first time you said, "Oh, it's perfect." Probably the worst one and not worse, but just because he is really tuned into music was Jim Kramer.
Yeah.
I worked most of the day before the show redoing things and stuff like that because with this program, every time I put a new part in, it gives me a different singer. So I can't go back and say I want singer 2311 or whatever, It just gives me whatever and I'm like, oh, that's not the one. And finally it nailed it, and he was just like, oh man, thank you. That Jim just was like, that was perfect, man.
I love that one too.
It worked out good. But so we have, let's see, let me scroll back here. Amy Matlock Randall wants you to tell the story about Bounty Hunter.
Oh, she loves that story. Amy's one of my friends. She's a longtime friend. A funny thing that happened with Amy, I have to tell you. So when I was driving the Kevin Harvick Kid Rock truck, they came out with toys. But they were really expensive, and I was poor, and I never could buy one. And nobody just gave me one, which is fine. But I never had one. So I was working with Amy at a therapy clinic, and Amy comes in one day, or she texts me, I can't remember, but we were working together at the time. And she said, "You're not going to believe what I found on the internet. Somebody's selling your autograph." And I was like, "Amy, why are you looking for my autograph? I'm not that cool." So she shows me what she found, and it was the Kevin Harvick Kid Rock diecast still in the box with my signature on the back.
Oh, yeah.
So I paid $100 to buy the truck I'd never had with my own autograph on it, which was really weird to get possession of because I don't have any of that memorabilia.
Right.
So, but it was really funny because I thought, I wonder what show I signed this at. I wonder where this came from. And I could just see myself, mid-20s signing this autograph. So it's really cool. I still have it.
Well, that's
but Amy,
awesome.
Amy wants me to tell you the story about, I used to get really bored on the airplanes. It just got awkward because people I'd try to go to sleep right away and they would, "Oh, are you here for business or pleasure?" Which one time I ended up on the plane with a lady of the night. I got all the details about how that works in Vegas, but all the details, all of them.
In case you're looking for a side hack, let me explain it to you here.
Yeah, I've got all the information, and that's how she started it. So, but anyway, I think I was on my way to North Carolina on a flight, and a guy sat beside me, and he was like, "Oh, are you traveling for business or pleasure?" And I said, business. And he said, "What do you do?" And I thought, I don't want to tell the story about monster trucks today. So I lied and told him I was a bounty hunter. And that he was like, "Wasn't that dangerous for a girl?" And I had to think on the fly. And I said, "Oh, I'm picking up a girl, so she won't see it coming." And he was asking me if I could use guns or not. And I'm making up, "Oh no, I just use pepper spray." Trying to come up with this great story. So we land. I do the monster truck show. Get back on the plane to go home, and the same guy's there. And we could pick seats, and he sat beside me. He's like, "Well, did you catch the girl you were after?" And I was like, "I sure did." And he goes, "Boy, that's kind of weird." He goes, "You must go to some great lengths to get these people." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he said, "Well, I was in town for business, and our boss took us to a monster truck show." And of course, there I am with these huge eyes. Yeah. And he was like, "So did you just pretend to be a monster truck driver to catch this girl?" And I said, "Yep, that's exactly what I did." And then I said, "No, I had to confess." And he was like, "Well, the monster truck story's so much cooler than the bounty hunter. And I said, well, I was just kind of bored with it. I was bored telling the story, so I made up a different one.
Oh, that's funny. That is too funny. I mean, I could see you doing that. I really could. I could just see you doing it. But that's how what would happen to me. I would do something like that and then be at the show and they'd be like, hey, you said you were this. And you're announcing the show? Oh, well, sorry.
Yeah, like what are the odds that guy was
exactly. Yeah, I mean that is crazy, but that is a good story. That's a funny story right there, guaranteed. So, any other stories while you were with Paul Schafer before we get into Miss Bigfoot?
Oh shoot, I better tell my favorite one. I don't think Doyle knows this information either. So Paul sent me and Doyle and Brian Christensen, Craig Christensen's son. He was working for us for a little bit. Needless to say, he quit after a week with me and Doyle. He went back home. Said he couldn't deal with us. But we were out there for a week. It was just nonstop shenanigans. But Doyle, I'm going to tell embarrassing stuff on him. He would always get so mad at me if I interrupted him in the bathroom because he said if I scared the poop away, then it was going to come back during the show. And who knows what was going to happen. So you knew if Doyle was in the bathroom, you didn't go anywhere near it.
Right.
So I was getting Boogie Van ready, and he and I had just done freestyle all week. So it was the day that we were doing like a big show. So the other drivers were starting to show up, and I was looking for something. I don't remember what I broke, but I was looking for something, and Doyle had gone over to the porta pot. So not thinking, I go over and knock on the porta pot door and was like, Doyle, where's this in the trailer? And he goes, Amber, I swear I'm going to freaking kill you if you made the poop go away. So I take off running back to the truck. So he comes over, we're working, and then I've got to use the bathroom. So, you know, ladies, when we get in a porta pot, we're not going to sit on that toilet.
Right.
So I'm hovering over it, and Doyle comes up and grabs a porta pot and shakes it back and forth. I peed all over that porta pot. So I come out of there mad, and I thought, I'm not going to let him get away with this. So a while goes by, other people are showing up, and I think it might have been Dave Harwood had my little mini motorcycle I had. As somebody had borrowed it. And so Doyle goes to the porta pot, and I run over and I grab my little mini motorcycle, my Hardley, I called it, and I took off flying, and I was just intending to scare him, like barely nick the porta pot, but I did more than nick it. Like it moved several feet.
Oh, jeez.
and like teetered, and I hear, you're dead. And I take off on my bike, and I go over to the trailer of whoever had brought it. Like I said, I think it was Dave. And I threw it in there, and I put a mat on top of it. And I said, no, whatever you do, don't tell Doyle this is here. He's going to kill me. He's absolutely going to kill me. You've got to hide this bike. And just, if he comes over, just pretend like I've been here the whole time. So then I take off running. I dive under Boogie Van with some wrenches. And Doyle comes out of the bathroom, and I'm just pretending to work, not keeping an eye on him. He grabs my leg and jerks me out from underneath that truck, ready to just whoop me. And I said, what's the matter with you? And, you know, he tells me what happens in the porta pot. So I had to think quick. And I said, hey, I saw some guy with a very, very large person on the back of his bike. They came through here in a motorcycle, and they left really quick. I'll bet they hit the porta pot. And so I think it was Dave. Like I said, he was there, and he was like, yep, I saw the whole thing. The guy could barely hold the bike up because the person on the back was so big. And Doyle was like, Amber, I swear if you had anything to do with this, I will kill you. So we had to make a porta pot truce. And I swear to this day, if we were somewhere together and there was a porta pot, we would look at each other. I mean, we were paranoid, both of us, because it had gone too far and someone almost died in the porta pot.
That's funny.
And so other things happened, and then Brian Christensen was like, I can't deal with you two. I'm done. I'm out.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. I can't.
I gotta leave. You all are ruining my reputation. So, you know, isn't it great to have those stories. I mean, okay, let's just say, for instance, one day you were walking down the road and God appeared in front of you and said, Amber, if you would forget your past, I'll let you have a completely different future. And would you do it, or would you keep the same stories and the same friends and all the same thing?
I'd have to stay on the same path.
Yeah, me too.
Because not just the memories, but all the lessons learned, all the
Yes.
knowledge, the
Yeah.
experiences. I mean, I do love the memories, and I miss a lot of the people that I raced with, but it all leads you to where you're at.
Oh,
So
it
who
does.
knows? If I had a different life, who knows what I'd be doing?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me that, family and stuff. And they're like, would you do something different? I said, hell no. Hell no.
Hmm.
Because I have met some of the greatest people, and I could pick up the phone and we could just have an hour long conversation. And speaking of an hour long conversation, we are almost at an hour already.
Oh my goodness.
But it's just the memories, the stories, and everything that
Hmm.
it just makes it the greatest life there is. I mean, it really does. It really
I
does.
I feel like I thought about this earlier. I thought, I wonder what monster truck life is like now with social media and everything. Is it, are a lot of people just on their phones and not having to entertain themselves in the porta pots? Or, I mean, we even had puppets and a little morning show to entertain ourselves if we were somewhere very long,
Uh huh.
because we didn't have that distraction. I just was thinking earlier, I was like, I wonder if it's the same. I bet it's the same, but probably scaled down a little bit because the hustle's always there. To have a presence on social media, so people follow you with the monster trucks and come to the shows. I'm sure there's just way more hustle and the reels and everything people make. They probably don't get the experience I had.
Oh, I think you're exactly right. I really think that you are on it exactly. I mean, the times we were in the shows and stuff, it was a different deal, guaranteed, than what it is now. Uh,
The big difference was idle hands,
yes,
idle time. We
guaranteed.
had all this downtime to
Yes,
get
to
in
think of
trouble, and we
stuff.
did. Yeah.
Yes, guaranteed, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the stories after the shows and stuff like that. I can
Hmm.
remember one time I was working with Larry Swim, and Susan was there, and they had went out, and the barf bags that they put in the airplanes.
Uh-huh.
They found some bags that looked like those, and they gave them to everybody in the audience. And we were partying one night after the show, having a good time, eating dinner and drinking some beers and stuff. And Larry had one of these disposable bags, and he put a face on it, and he was making it sound like it was Mr. We called him Mr. Disposal. So everybody's, we had so much fun and so many laughs. Well, I'm getting ready to start the show, and Larry comes up and he goes, "Hey, stop, stop." He goes, "There's somebody in the audience that wants to say hi to you." And I was like, "What do you mean there's somebody in the audience?" He goes, "There's somebody in the audience that wants to say hi." And he turned to everybody and goes, "Everybody say hi to Roller." And all these Mr. Disposal puppets on people's hands come up and they're like, "Hello, Roller, how
Oh
you
my
doing?"
gosh.
But just stuff like that carried on. It was the fun
Uh-huh.
that's the way it was. I mean, just the
Hmm.
good times. That's why I wouldn't change it at all. That's why I would not change
Yeah.
it at all. So, and I still have Mr. Disposal and Mrs. Disposal in a picture frame behind my backdrop. I'll have to get that out one time and,
Yes, you
and show it, because I do. I have it right there, and it's funny as all get out. I still have them
that
to this
is.
day. But okay, so you're done with Paul. How long were you not in the, or did you transform right over to Bigfoot?
No, I had about 4 years off, and I was working in therapy, and Larry Swim got a hold of me,
Uh huh.
and he was like, "Hey, um, Bigfoot wants to talk to you about maybe doing some shows coming up for the next season."
Uh huh.
So I told Larry he could give him my number, and um, so then Bob and Ann got a hold of me, and did I think it was in March of 2010. They were going to be in Indy, so I went and interviewed with them. And so they offered me the job, but I said, can I have a couple weeks to think about it? And, it wasn't that I didn't want to drive for Bigfoot. I just, had other things going on in my life. So I wanted to make sure I could get that all squared away. But yeah, all the time driving for Paul. I mean, we all love Dan and the Bigfoot crew, but man, you just felt so jealous. You just felt so jealous. Everything was so nice, and the toter homes were so nice,
Yeah.
and the way those things would slap wheelie, you would always be like, "Dang it, I want to drive Bigfoot."
Yeah.
And then I finally got to. I felt like a lot of us working for Paul. That was a conversation we had a lot. Can you imagine what it's like to drive for Bigfoot? And we were always so jealous.
It's kind of like driving a Yugo and watching them roll up in this Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Sometimes you'd look in Dan's trailer and you were like, he even has an extra motor in there and another set of tires. And then he'd get done with the show and his stuff was never broke.
No.
Never.
No.
And he'd unload his motorcycle and take off into the sunset, and there we were.
Yeah. Oh,
digging for scraps, hoping some food vendor would toss us a hot dog after the show because we were starving to death, having to work on your truck. I just remember so many times of that, and I was like, man, this sucks. But then when I got to drive for Bigfoot, it was like, haha, suckers, now I get the good life.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so transitioning from and Paul's trucks were decent trucks. I mean, they were
Yes,
good trucks.
yes,
They were very fast trucks. I mean, that they had the Lincoln transmission in, didn't they?
the Hemi trucks did, the one I drove. The one that I drove, the Kevin Harvick Barefoot, that's always will be my favorite truck. I don't care. I could drive one today and I would still say, nope, that truck's my favorite.
Well, you always have your favorites, and that's all. It just fit you. It just fits you right. But climbing into the wheel the first time, first of all, filling the shoes of Mrs. Bigfoot. I mean, that's big stuff right there. I mean, you're going against the lady herself, man. And,
I know.
And that's like, oh my God, I'm gonna do what? So talk to us about that.
Well, I think at first I was just kind of shocked after I'd been out of the game, and you just assume people forget you quickly in a sport like that, but they didn't. And I was very, very excited. I was nervous, but not very much. I just felt like it had been such a big goal, and in my mind that, it'd be great to drive for Bigfoot. But I felt, because they are so more professional than we behaved with Paul. So I was like, okay, I probably should be on good behavior. I shouldn't do all my other shenanigans. And these are going to be big races that they hired me for. So, I definitely wanted to have a good showing. And my first race was in somewhere in Missouri at the Full Wheel Jamboree. And I had to race Jim Kohler first round.
Oh, wow.
And I remember I won that race easily. But the day before, they actually were going to let me go out and practice, which I was kind of shocked. But in normal fashion, I didn't get to. Just like my, first time ever driving.
Right.
A big storm rolled in right when I got out there. And Bob was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry you didn't get to practice. And I said, it's all right. I'll be fine. And so then, of course, first weekend in Bigfoot, they had a little roller jump. And I thought, boy, oh boy, I wonder if I can get a slap wheelie off of this. Because Bigfoot slap wheelies were always fantastic.
Guaranteed.
So I said, I got to get me a piece of this. So I go to I land just right. I bounce up and I was like, yes. And I nailed that gas to get that slap wheelie. Well, I was going crooked. Ran smack into a van bus stack and rolled me over. And I thought, oh my gosh, my first weekend in Bigfoot. And here I am upside down.
Yeah.
I was so ashamed I didn't want to get out of the truck. Like my crew guy Jerry had to, come on, Amber, get out. It's all right. You're not in trouble, because I was literally hiding in there. And I think I even told Jerry to cover for me. I was going to make a run for it, so I didn't get in trouble.
Here, you put the
But I
helmet on.
didn't.
Here, you put the helmet
Yeah.
on and sit up here and act like it's you.
Yeah, I'm out of here. But
Yeah.
I didn't get in any trouble. So
Yeah. You know, the difference, the power difference in everything like that, the handling and the shock setups, just totally different, correct?
oh, it was so smooth. And back when I drove Boogie Van and the Kevin Harvick Kid Rock truck, I honestly, if I got done with a freestyle and my neck was killing me because I didn't have a Hans device and we just had, foam collars.
Yeah.
If your freestyle hurt really bad, you did a good job.
Yeah.
You knew you got some air. So I go to drive for Bigfoot. One, I have this amazing suspension. I mean, feels like you're just riding on a cloud to begin with. And then I get the Hans device. And I didn't have it for the first weekend, but Lima was the next one. And I had my Hans device for that. And I went out and did a freestyle. And they had like 2 stacks of vans and buses. And I hit the first stack and I was like, I can actually see the next stack. Normally, I was bouncing around so bad you didn't even know where you were to be able to hit another stack like that right away. I was lined up to it, and I was like, oh, I'll just hit it again. So I get done freestyle, and I pull to the pits, and there's my crew guy, Jerry, just losing his mind, jumping, screaming, wailing. I park, and he climbs up in there, and he was like, oh, that was so awesome. And I said, what? And he goes, your freestyle. And I said, oh, it was all right. And he goes, why do you think it wasn't very good? And I said, because my neck doesn't hurt. He goes, welcome to the Hans device.
Yeah.
So I really thought I'd done this terrible job because it didn't hurt, but it was better equipment.
Sure. And then, the crowd reaction to a Bigfoot truck is, I've watched it many a time. It's just amazing. People are on they're on their feet. Because they know, I mean, and I'm not knocking anybody in any way, shape, or form, but when Big Blue comes in, that's why I have always been a Bigfoot fan. I mean, even as a young man, I was a Bigfoot fan. Before I even got into the monster truck business, I was a Bigfoot fan. But
That's very cool.
It's just when they're out there, it's just a completely different attitude in the crowd when you guys got like Eric, when you got Eric Tack out there, Dan Runte, Larry Swim, Rick Long, Rodney Tweedy, yourself. I mean, people just like, wow, that's it right there. That's the game. Even today, I would, if somebody come up and said, okay, we're going to put you in a Monster Jam truck, or we're going to put you in a Bigfoot truck. Which
You're
one
going Bigfoot.
I'm going Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
I'm going
Yeah.
Bigfoot. I'm going just because the history, the class of the people that work there. Bob and Marilyn, great people. Trent and Ann, great people. And just everybody in the shop. I mean, I was lucky enough to go to one of the MTRA banquet deals, and we got to go over to the shop and hang out. And everybody's just so cool. Everybody's just so chill, and I'm sure there's little turmoil in there and all the time, sometimes and stuff, but it was just such a welcoming feeling. And that's just the way I always felt when I was working with any of the Bigfoot guys. I remember the first time I ran with Dan Runte, I was just like, that's Dan Runte right there. I'm working.
I know, you are kind of like starstruck.
I was. And I'm not, there wasn't kinda. I was starstruck, and I'm like, that's Dan Runte. I can't believe it. And then afterwards, we get done with the show, he comes up and he goes, and he always called me little buddy. He goes, little buddy? He goes, how about me and you go out and go get something to eat and get something to drink? And I was like, Dan Runte just asked me to go to dinner with him and stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm going for sure. And we got to go in the hauler. and I was riding in a Bigfoot truck. I was like, "Are you kidding? Just take me now. I'm done. Just take me now. I'm
And
done."
you guys left me while
Yeah.
I was sitting there working on my shit.
Well,
You
probably
guys were
so.
like, "Smell you later,
Yeah.
Amber,
Hey,
loser."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Amber. I love you to death. I do. You're my girl, but
I
I'm
don't
going
blame
with
you.
Dan. I'm going with Dan or the guys, you know?
I'd have left me too.
Yeah. And then, I get to meet people like Jim Kramer and stuff like that. I mean,
Hmm.
that's history. I mean, and you worked for the best. I'll guarantee you that in my book.
Yes, I did. I was very, very lucky to have that
Yeah.
opportunity.
Now, did I always ask the drivers, did you feel like every time you come into the arena, you had a target on your back that everybody was after you?
Well, I did at Montreal, I'll tell you
Well,
that.
of course you
Um,
did. Yeah.
well, I did all the jamborees. So, you had the Hall brothers there
Yeah.
and bigger shows. So, yeah, you felt the pressure just anyway, even if I guess just being a girl, you always felt that pressure because everyone's like, I don't want to get beat by a freaking girl. And then when you're in Bigfoot, they're like, oh man, that's even worse.
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
like, nah, she's in a good truck. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So you did always feel the pressure, but I don't know, I was very, very good about like the Kevin Harvick truck I had, had a lot of mechanical issues on a regular basis. So that was tough. But I was always very good about staying centered with, okay, these are the things I need to improve on in this race, in this race, in this race. And normally I was not racing the person next to me. I was racing myself. But the person next to me did always motivate me. And if I was mad at you, you could guarantee that I was going to win.
It was an ass whooping coming, huh? Right?
But yeah, Paul knew it. If I was mad, he'd be like, I don't want to race Amber tonight. No, thank you. She's ticked. She is mad. She's being hateful. Somebody take her out. In fact, a race we did at St. Paul for Monsters of Destruction. So Paul was just pestering me, I'm sure, because I think he thought it was funny when I get mad. I was carrying a case of oil down this ramp in to run the valves, change oil on Kevin Harvick truck, and he was like, "Hey Amber, it looks like you gained 5 pounds. You better carry that up and down the hill a few more times." And of course, I went off, and he was already in a mood because he was mad my transmission went out. So I had to have what he called his good transmission in mine. So Paul kept telling everybody, I don't want to race Amber because I made her mad. And I did. I cussed him up a storm. So we get to qualifying, and I qualified very well. And then first round of racing, I won. And so I'm sitting in my truck, and Paul's to my left and Dan Runty's to my right. And I see Paul get out of his truck, and he climbs up in Dan's truck and is talking to him. So I'm just sitting here watching, and I see Dan kind of look over at me and shrug his shoulders, and Paul goes back to his truck. So he did his next round of racing, and I was up against Dan next. And Paul left the building because he needed to go get fuel. So pulled to the line, and now I'm really mad at Paul because I don't know what they were talking about, but I knew it was about me. So anyway, I was like, I'm winning this race. And the funny thing is when I was in the right lane I had against Dan, I couldn't see the lights, red to green. And so I had to wait till I heard his motor. And I just kind of guessed and somehow pulled off a win because I couldn't see those lights. So I park, and Paul comes back in, and he doesn't know who won yet. And he walks over to Dan's truck, and Dan shook his head. And then Paul kind of looked over at me. So Paul goes and gets in his truck. We're doing like an intermission before the finals. And Dan comes over and he goes, "Hey, Amber." He was like, "Paul offered me $1,000 to beat you."
Wow.
And I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah." He said he didn't want to race you in the finals because you're mad at him. And I was like, "You didn't let me win or anything, did you?" Which Dan never would do something
No.
like that. But he was like, No. He goes, "I wanted that $1,000.
Yeah, guaranteed.
He was like, he goes, I tried with all my might. So then I was even madder. So I go out and race Paul in the finals and I win. But before we went out to race, Paul climbs up in my truck and he's like, I get lane choice because I was fastest qualifier. And I said, well, that's not fair. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to take the right lane because it's faster. Well, that idiot didn't know that he gave me the lane I could see out of. And I was like, so I pretended to throw a fit and I said, well, that's not fair. I don't like that lane. And I said, fine, you can just have it. I'll still beat you anyway. So we pulled to the line. Oh, and then he had said, well, you can't win because all the sponsors are here and we don't have any sponsor stickers on your truck. So you can't win. And I said, well, good luck to you, Paul.
Yeah.
And anyway, I won and he knew it was coming. He just knew that I was spitting nails that day.
Oh, that's funny. That's some good times, though. That is fun.
Uh-huh.
So, you raced, how long did you race with Bigfoot for? Was it about a year?
Yeah, just 2010.
Uh-huh. And so after Bigfoot, you hung up the monster truck suit and all that?
Yeah. I was very determined at that point in my life that was making good money at a regular job, but I really, really wanted something of my own.
Right.
And I always enjoyed off-roading and being in that scene. And that's something you don't really have much time to do.
No.
When you race monster trucks. You're always on the go. You're always fixing something. So Polaris had come out with the Polaris Razor. And oh boy, was I smitten on it.
Uh-huh.
So I bought one and I thought, well, I need to race this thing. This is what I want to do. Which took me a little time to kind of find a race series I wanted to do. So I finally found one, and that was the hill climb racing. A lot of times if you see an off-road video and people crashing all over the place, that's what it is. It's a hill climb race.
Uh-huh.
So started doing that. Did that for a while and then started doing YouTube. My job had done a bunch of cuts. I got a pay cut. I thought, man, I need to do something different. So my husband and I talked and we were like, well, let's just do a YouTube channel and see what happens. And so basically from there, we started showing people how to work on stuff, showing people riding videos. And then it kind of grew from there. People started reaching out. Hey, would you mind working on mine? And then the shop was born. So now we're busy. We're both full-time in the shop working on people's toys. So that's a good thing. It's fun.
So and the name of the company is?
Crash City Side by Side.
And how does people get a hold of you?
Well, we have a website. We have Facebook. We're on YouTube. An exciting thing. I don't know if I should announce it, but I'm going to. My husband's not here to stop me. So we did some how-to videos on YouTube, and what kind of is bad about that is there were a lot of shops who maybe shouldn't be doing some of this work.
Sure.
And we're watching our videos and then, trying to replicate what we were doing with some not so great results. But we have decided that, and our YouTube videos are hard because you're trying to condense it. You're trying to just shove all this information real quick. So we've decided to do a Patreon. So if any of you out there have a side-by-side, especially Polaris, that's what we focus on. But we're going to do a Patreon, and we're going to really go in depth, like master technician type stuff. So we will be coming out with videos on how to do anything and everything. And so we will charge a fee to have access to that, but it's really going to save people a lot from having to pay shops. I mean, some of these shops charge outrageous stuff.
Do.
Like, no joke. We saw a bill from a shop not too far from us, $23,000.
You're kidding me.
To replace a motor and put some rock lights in. They charged 8 hours to pull the motor out. Charged 8 hours, I think, to take the turbo off and put it back on. I mean, these are not 8-hour jobs. 8 hours to put everything back in. I mean, the labor was insane. And I said, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And a lot of this stuff, there's a lot that people can do themselves, especially if they had good videos. And then there's just some people that are like, screw it, it's my toy. I don't want to hate it. so I'm going to bring it to you,
Right.
which is great too. You know, we like working on
Well,
them.
sure. And are you backed up pretty good with work?
Yeah. We got to. I'm wanting to start my new buggy build, but we've got a couple fabricating jobs in there we need to get done first and get that sort of cleared out. But yeah, we always have a lot of times 10 to 15 of them here at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we stay pretty busy.
So, are you having to do any creating stuff to strengthen Polaris chassis or roll cages or anything like that maybe Polaris might have not really skipped on but didn't really think
Oh,
about it?
they Polaris likes to skimp on a lot.
Oh, do they really?
You beef one up, they're fantastic. Off this, I mean, some of the newer ones are a lot better, but you know, we do build roll cages. Like my buggy, she's a 1-seat full tube chassis.
Uh-huh.
We don't really do that work too much for other people, especially a lot of it's just because we've gotten so busy with the repair side. And people love to be able to, you know, they go to Black Mountain down in Kentucky and they blow their motor, tear up the transmission, and they might live, you know, north of us. Oh, I'll just drop it off on my way. So, you know, we try to make sure the repairs are very quick turnaround because a lot of people have rides and that's their getaway. That's their vacation. So
Right.
we always try our best to make that happen. So we stay really busy on the repair side and upgrade side, but we don't do a lot of the fabrication for other people, mostly ourselves.
Well, that's, you know, excuse me. That's you've created a definite place for somebody's needs, and why not? I mean, why not take advantage of that? You know, you know your stuff, and that's the whole key is to get it out quick. You know,
Yes.
you take some of your stuff to get worked on at these motorcycle shops, and they're like, we're a month out. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I wanted to go do something, you know. Well, we can't help you, and they just have that attitude. Well, we can't help you, you know. So that's the best thing right there. So, hey, why don't you hang on for a minute, and then we'll finish up with you. But I got to pay some bills
Okay.
right fast, and
Okay.
we'll be right back here, guys. You're listening to Pedal to the Metal. We got Amber Skywalker on, and we're talking monster trucks and UTVs and all that other good stuff, baby. Hey, lug nuts, need pick me up to start your day? Then it's time to go to Rise and Grind. At Rise and Grind Coffee in Parker, Colorado, you'll find everything from bold espressos to creamy lattes to refreshing chai teas and smoothies. Whether you love it regular or decaf, we've got the perfect cup waiting for you. Hungry? Grab a hot breakfast burrito and a fresh muffin to go with your drink. And don't forget to check in on our merchandise. Perfect gift for any coffee lover. Planning on an event? Rise and Grind brings coffee to you with our family-equipped portable coffee trailer. Perfect for weddings, meetings, celebrations of any kind. Stop by 475 Singing Hills Road in Parker or give us a call at 480-212-3787. That's 480-212-3787. Rise and Grind Coffee, fueling your day one cup at a time. Hey, lug nuts, take a look at our new partner, 6ix9ine Graphics and Design, a small design and marketing company big on personalized service. They work close with you to get your business noticed with graphics that stand out and get attention. 6ix9ine Design focuses on stickers, decals, and graphics for your hot rods, custom projects, or business marketing. 6ix9ine Design also includes logo design, brochures, signs, business cards, banners, custom apparel, vehicle graphics, and much more. Remember, that's 6 and the number 9 graphics and design. Or go to 6ix9design.com or find them on Instagram at 6ix9 Design. All right, guys, we're back here. If you're looking for some apparel from Pedal to the Metal, if you have that piece of paper and a pencil, go to fourthwall.com and go on to their page, go into their search and type in Pedal to the Metal, and it'll take you right to our storefront. We've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got a little bit, no, we don't have hats. I'm sorry, I take that back. We don't have hats, but we've got coffee cups, mugs, mouse pads. We even got some old school Converse tennis shoes that are really cool. They're white right now. I hope they're going to come out with a black pair, but we do have that. So that's fourthwall.com for any of your pedal to the metal apparel. Now, another thing we're coming up with, I have this big motorhome on my property out here, and I don't ever get to use it. So I have come up with an idea, and it's going to be we're going to be able to come to car shows. We're going to be able to go to just anywhere up and down the Front Range, and maybe a few out-of-state trips and stuff. But this is going to be a mobile billboard, and what this is, we're going to pull my truck behind it, and then you're going to be able to advertise your business on the side of this motorhome. So if you're looking to get your name out there for your shop, we'd like to keep it. We'd like to keep it motorsports parts and stuff like that accessible. But if somebody comes up and they come up with enough money and they want to advertise, we'll look at any advertising. But anyway, you can buy some space on the side of this motorhome, and we're going to be running up and down I-25, so it's going to be highly visible. I already have 3 people that have committed to the first tier sponsorship, and these sponsorships are for a year long, and the bottom tier one is $1,000 for the year, and that gets you. Let me just open up this page right fast, and I can tell you here. The $1,000 one gets you here. Let's see here. Well, I should have had these marked. It's called our basic package, and it includes your company logo displayed on the side of the motorhome, along with a QR code directing customers to your business. On-air mentions on our worldwide podcast, Pedal to the Metal, airing Sundays and Wednesdays. Distribution of any handouts, promotional materials that you provide, we'll take and hand them out at any of the car shows and the events that we attend. And a guest spot twice per year with a worldwide podcast, Pedal to Metal, giving you the opportunity to talk about your business live with our audiences. And that's just the basic package. Now we have a gold package. And the gold package is $2,400 for the year, but that gets you prime logo spots on the motorhome. It also gets your company's logo with the QR code, and it can be placed on highly visible spots on the motorhome. Professional commercial will be created with your business and aired twice a week on each show every Sunday and Wednesday. Quarterly guest spots, one guest appearance per quarter on the show, talk live about your business, engage with our audience, and we will do the handouts, of course, and then also you will be one of the monthly sponsors on one of the shows that we do, like tonight we do it in, just say, for instance, Napa Auto Parts come up, and we'd say, this show is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. And then if you want to go to a car show that we attend, you can go to a car show and you can do live interviews or talk about your business right there, because we're going to be doing the show live from all of these car shows. So this is a new technique that we've come out with. We haven't seen it done yet, and it seems to be that people are kind of interested in what we're doing. So for more information, JeffRichards327 at gmail.com, and we can talk about this. I can ship you a package. You can look it over, and really, the numbers sound big, and but that's less than $100 a month advertising for your business, and the other one around $200 a month for your business. So we'll try to help you out. We can, and we can also just do regular commercial spots for you where we can play them on our shows. So, all right, well, we're back, and we're still talking to Amber, and so we're going to finish up, and we're going to let this girl finish up and tell us about what else she wants to talk about. This is her time.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know.
You don't even know.
I don't even know.
Amber, you've never been one without words. I mean, you've always been very voiceless and opinionated.
Yeah. now I've gotten old, and I just sit in the shop all the time.
Oh, well. So
don't get much interaction.
Right. Is there any big things you're going to go to with Sparkles, and you're going to be there where people can come and see you and watch you run and stuff like that you're definitely going to be at?
There is a benefit ride down in Ride Royal Blue in October the Harvey Miley benefit ride. I know I'll be there. The rest of it, I'm kind of fly by the seat of my pants. Although this year I am looking for some obstacle course races. Took a break from racing, just, got busy with the YouTube and the shop. And so Sprinkles is my buggy now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to do a new build on her. So she will be primarily just a race buggy, but I am going to try to wheel her some. I just did a lot of horsepower upgrades on her. She's very, very, very scary fast. So wheeling her on some of these rock trails, it's going to be a learning curve, because if you just breathe on that throttle, she's ready to get the heck out of town.
Oh, wow.
So, but she's going to be an all new chassis build. I've gotten some of the stuff to get started on it, just need room to get started. But I'm planning to do front and rear hydro steer on it, which, the Polarises don't come with that. And especially in the rear with the trailing arms, that's a whole different situation than like with the monster truck rear steer. So I'm pretty excited to get started on that, and pretty excited because the obstacle course with the Razors is a monster truck race. I mean, just bottom line, it's just like racing a monster truck. It doesn't seem as big, but you don't even, if you're used to driving a monster truck, the transition is the same. Other than Polarises don't always like it when you throttle out. That is not always the answer. Uh-huh. It is the answer a lot of times, but not all of the time. Not like monster trucks. They're all the time.
Oh yeah, they're let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Throttle out.
So any of this new stuff that you're doing, is this stuff that you're going to have to fabricate and design, and you'll have to maybe put a patent on, or something like that, where people can buy this and because there's
the hydraulic steering stuff, that is all natural state racecraft, NSR. It's a guy named Ross Pilgreen. Uh-huh. He's got it so dialed in, it's just kind of like, why even bother? But I've got a front bulkhead for the hydro and a rear plate for the hydro back there, but the rest of it, the whole frame and everything, will be a one-off build. And the way I have it planned out, and luckily because I'm very short, I think I can pull off a look that you've not seen in a Razor before. You've seen something similar, because there's only so much you can do with them, because your motor has to be here, your suspension has to be there. But I think it's going to have quite a bit different look than some of the stuff we've seen. So I'm pretty excited to get started on that.
Well, cool. Well, I know you're smart enough to patent anything that you build that down the line you can sell and make it even more money for yourselves. And I just before we leave, I just want to let you know how much it's meant to me. Thank you so much for being on the show. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, I did.
Is there any other stories that you got for us? I mean, you got to have one more story, don't you? Somewhere in your storytelling book.
Are they appropriate? And am I going to incriminate anybody?
Yeah, exactly.
I hope not.
I've always wanted to write a book, and I wanted to call it Give Me Some Thunder, and it was about my monster truck career. But yeah, I can't.
I always wanted to write a book called What the F Was That?
Yeah.
I guess it'd be the same story. We have the same one to tell.
It would be, and there's just number one, if you toned them down, they wouldn't be funny. They just wouldn't be funny at all. So I guess.
Well, I need to finish with a good Bigfoot story, but it also includes Doyle.
Well, that's fine.
My super shenanigan friend.
Okay.
Like, we literally could not be around each other without causing some sort of drama or chaos, either between each other or someone else. So Doyle had been gone for monster trucks for quite a while. And we were racing Wisconsin, maybe? I can't remember. It's one of the northern states close to Canada. But it was not Iowa, because that's where Doyle was from. But it wasn't far from him, so he decided to come. He comes and watches the show. And we all decided to hang out, and Dan came, and I think Jerry came, my crew guy. But we were at the hotel at the bar, and Doyle goes, "Gosh, Amber, I really miss causing trouble and pestering people." And I said, "Me too." So he was like, let's pester the waitress or something. So we came up with this elaborate story, and of course I had to bring the bounty hunter back into it. And so he was like, let's start talking like we're bounty hunters. And so we do. We started out and we're talking about catching this girl and these different things. And of course the waitress is, she kind of comes up and looks like she's listening. So we start alerting each other when she's getting close. So I decide, and Dan has shown up at this point, so we've got all them on the story too. So she's walking up behind me, and Doyle was like, here she comes. And she walks up there, and I was like, hey, how long do you guys think it's okay for me to leave that girl locked in the trunk? It's been a couple hours. I was like, do you think I need to go check on her? And so Dan goes, yeah, you probably should, because he wanted to go smoke with me. So we went outside to smoke and pretended we were checking on this girl locked in the trunk. So we come back in, and Doyle's losing his mind, and he's like, Amber, she fell for it. She's back there freaking out. And I said, well, we better hang this up before somebody shows up, So she comes out, and Doyle looks at me, and he goes, Amber, we really probably should go to the police station and check this girl in. We're way too drunk to be driving anyway, but it'll be fine. And so we paid our bill and left, and then we all went to another bar. But
oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know how long she believed it or if she ever figured it out, but yeah, it was just always something like that. We were always pestering somebody.
She probably to this day still tells the story.
About the bounty hunters that lost their
I remember this one time I was waiting tables, and you're not going to believe it. They had this lady locked in the trunk, and they were partying and drinking. I just, I didn't know what to do.
The look on Doyle's face when I said that she was locked in the trunk, and Dan and Jerry, they were like beet red, trying not to laugh, and I was like, everyone keep it together.
Oh my God. That's funny. Yeah, I can tell you one. We was in Utah, and I was with Dave Harkey, and we were doing the show, and we were right there at the E Center, is what it was called, I think, and the hotel was in the same parking lot, and we went to the hotel, and we talked the hotel guy into letting us drink in the morning breakfast room. We said we'll be quiet, and my room happened to be just a couple doors down, and Harkey knew this, and so we're drinking some beers and stuff and having a good time. We're not getting out of hand or anything, and Harkey goes, "Hey man, my room is way down at the other end." He says, "Can I use your key and go to your bathroom?" I said, "Sure. Here you go, man." So and he comes back.
That's where you went wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm already thinking, everything's going to be good. I can let him do that. So anyway, this goes on through the whole night. So we get done, and it's probably maybe 1:30 in the morning, and go back to the rooms, and everybody says goodbye, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I go to my room, and I open up the door, and I flip on the light. There's no light, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? So I go into the bathroom, and I thought, well, I'll just turn on the bathroom lights, at least I can see what's going on. There's no light, and I'm like, what the hell? And so I go over to the lamp on the desk, and I turn it on. There's no light. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I get over, and I stumble over to the table, or between the bed where the phone was, and I call the front desk. And I said, hey, this is room such and such. Something is wrong. Do you have a power outage or something? The guy goes, no, everything's fine. I said, well, there's something wrong with my room. I need you to come down here. So I'm standing outside in the hallway, and here comes this guy, and he's got a flashlight. And I said, go ahead and go in there, man, and see what's going on. I don't know what's happening. And he turns on the light right by the door, and sure enough, nothing's there. And he goes, I don't know, let me go in and check. So I'm just out there, just hanging out. And he goes, Mr. Richards, can you come in here for a minute? And I said, yeah. He goes, has somebody been messing with you tonight? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I'd like you to come in here and look. And on the other bed, there was a towel laid out, and Harkey took every light bulb out of every light in the whole room and had them laying on the bed. I was like, that son of a gun, And I told the guy, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I don't know what happened. And I just wanted to say, can we just go down to Harky's room and do something to him, please? Can we, but I didn't want to do that, But it just, those are some of the fun stories, They really
Oh, I
are.
know. And you never gave your key to anyone again.
No, never, never. And if my room was close, of course, like Danny Torgerson was always famous, like, what room you in? And I'd say, we're in 412. And he'd go, this is only a 3-story hotel. I said, I know. That's exactly. I'm not going to tell you what room I'm in,
But yeah,
so.
no, you couldn't.
Yeah. So, well, baby girl, I really, really appreciate it. I wish you guys the best. I know we're going to get together
Thank
and
you.
do a collaboration for your business and make a song up for that. So you just, whenever you guys are ready to do that, you let me know, and we'll sit
Okay.
down and we'll design a good one and make it work.
All righty. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. And you have a happy new year, and I wish you the best for this year for both you and your husband and everything. So I think
You too.
I think we'll go out with playing your song again. How's that sound to you?
It sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Amber Skywalker. This is Pedal to the Metal. We'll be back here in just a minute. We're going to play her theme song, and then we'll probably play a little bit more music, and then we'll get out of here. So once again, here it is, Miss Bigfoot.
July 7th, 1980, Jackson, Michigan. This is how legends start. Born in Jackson on the Midwest rain, July heat, gasoline veins, PT books in her trembling hands when fate showed up in the grandstand. Monster lights, barefoot grin, said one day, girl, you'll be driving one of them. Crowd noise hit like a loaded gun. She didn't laugh, she locked it in. Dreams don't whisper, they break your chest. When you hear them clear, you don't second guess. I'm a Skywalker, foot on flame, no fast track, no borrowed name. From dirt track hope to steel and thunder, she didn't wait, she went under. I'm a Skywalker, earning a fall, built from grit, not luck at all. Early 2000, doors cracked wide. Tony Farrell said, you should meet this guy. Paul Schafer put her on cruise, said, learn the ropes, prove it's you. Only race was a county fair, 4 wheels, dust, fearless stare. Brian Womack saw what they missed, taught her bolts, gave her a fist. Told Paul straight, don't let her go, she's got fire you can't outgrow. No resume, no safety net, just hunger loud enough to place the bet. Amber Skywalker, 20 years old, Dayton, Ohio, boogie van roll. Crowd stood up when the engine screamed. That wasn't luck, that was destiny. Boogie van from 01 to 5. Kevin Harvick, Kid Rock ride. Monsters of Destruction 2005. St. Paul finals came alive. Took out Bigfoot, took out Paul. Last race win, dropped them all. Then she stepped back. Family life, a different grind. Legends don't quit, they realign. 2010, the phone rang loud. Bigfoot calling, 35 years proud. Interview lights, blue steel frame. Miss Bigfoot carried the name. 4-wheel jamborees, coast to coast. Salt Lake, Vegas, held it close. Montreal night, dirty hit. Bill Payne tried to roll the rig. She stayed upright, middle finger high. Yeah. He can kiss her ass goodbye. Amber Skywalker still standing tall. When steel tries to break, she doesn't fall. History moved
when she took that seat. Blue steel queen on a four-wheel beat. 2011 Polaris dream. Small races, bigger schemes. Hill climbs, burning 2015 live. First woman ever, backflip flight. Gravity blink, crowd lost breath. She stared fear straight in the face. Crash City born, 16 steel walls, welding sparks and late night calls. Sprinkles live, sparkles reborn, tube chassis heart, turbo swarm. Built it herself, learned every seam. Fabricator blood, gasoline dreams. Amber Skywalker, forged in fire. From monster trucks to mountain wires. No script, no crown, no easy lane. Just broken knuckles and earned acclaim. Amber Skywalker, hear it roar when the engine screams. She wants more, legends fade. She accelerates, built to rise, built to dominate. Jackson, Michigan, Scottsburg nights, Crash City lives, and this one's still climbing.
Wow, I just love that song. Let's see, on Friday, we had some great people on, man. We had Lee and Shane Plato and Daniel on from Skullcrusher Monster Truck. And we made them a song, so I'm going to go ahead and play that one for you right now. This here is called Skullcrusher Dreams, right here on Pedal to the Metal.
Couch worn thin, Monster Jam glow on the TV screen. Little boy sitting cross-legged down low, eyes lit up every time those engines growled. He said, "Daddy, one day that'll be me." Dad smiled back and said patiently, "Son, you gotta wait till you're 18, but dreams don't die if you believe." He searched online late after school, trying to find a different rule, but that's when he found a brand new scene. Kid KJ's mini monster racing team. Kids like him racing dirt and steel, proving young dreams can still be real. With family help and a few good friends, they built that truck from bolt to bend. Painted skulls, let the engine roar, called it Skullcrusher, dreaming more. He drove with courage, he drove with pride, learned from the heroes he watched on TV at night. Every jump, every hop, 1 mile, a young boy growing up wild. From a dream in a living room glow to tires spinning in a dirt pack show. Yeah, that kid grew fast, but he stayed true, chasing Skullcrusher dreams. Out of a shop in Healdsburg, California, where hard work's taught before fame finds you. Dad's got a hot rod shop, grease and steel, passing down more than just a wheel. When he's not driving, he's turning wrenches, learning business, learning patience, how to build a future that lasts, while still driving just as fast. He drove with courage, he drove with pride, still hearing that crowd every Saturday night. From many trucks to the real big stage, every year added wisdom and age. Skullcrusher strong, still part of the crew. Second truck rolling in, scatter something new. Built on faith, family, and truth. Those Skullcrusher dreams broke through. Now he's 18,
and scream. All started with a kid and a dream. Dad by his side, friends along the way. And tomorrow's bigger than yesterday.
Well, I'll tell you what, since we're doing monster truck songs, we might as well go ahead and play the man, the myth, the legend right here. Here's the legend right here. We'll be right back, Mr. Jim Kramer.
St. Louis, Missouri, where the hard work's done. Didn't come looking for a stage or crown, just stealing dirt and a motor sound. Worked beside Bob Chan to learn to trade. Bigfoot dreams and the plans they made. Then July of '82, the wheel came round. Bigfoot, one new driver in town. One of 'em out the window, head hanging low, looking at the cars before and let it go. Calm in the chaos, steady in the dust, held that wheel on, feel and trust. If you saw Bigfoot walk like it knew the way, that was Jim Kramer putting on a display. One arm out the window, fear out of sight, that's how legends drive on a Saturday night. Tire walks high, crowd holding breath, balanced on the line between thunder and death. Aggressive style, but smooth and clean. Knew what the truck meant, knew what it meant. 5, 6, 9, 20, 21. Every truck told the crowd who he was. When monster trucks were learning to fly, Jim Kramer already read the sky. One arm out the window, head hanging low, staring down steel before he'd go. All in dirt and a motor's trust, holding it together in smoke and rust. If the ground shook twice and the lights went wide, that was Jim Kramer on in the night. One arm out the window, fear out of sight, that's how legends drive on a Saturday night. On a Saturday night. Bigfoot 6, 70 feet, 13 cars in the mix. Crowd went silent, engines cried, then he lifted that truck and let it fly. When the dust came down, the world knew then. Monster trucks crossed a brand new end. That jump still echoes in history. A blues note band in machinery. From research labs to training grounds, teaching young drivers how to keep it sound. Vice President building something true, so every driver knew what to do. From movie lights to stadium roar, Roadhouse ran, the crowd wanted more. When the helmet came off, the fire stayed strong. He turned grease and steel into wood and wire. Fixing old guitars, chasing tone and fire. Same steady hand, same patient feel. Like driving Bigfoot, every move was real. Hall of Fame called in 2012 for a life spent giving more than in himself. Retired in 16 but never gone. Still Bigfoot strong, still moving on. 2023, one final ride. Bigfoot 21 rolling wide. One more pass, one last sound. A legend letting it touch the ground. One arm out the window, head hanging low, still showing the world how a legend rolls. Steel in the throttle, calm in his hands. Built this whole sport the way it stands. Still alive, still strong, still safe.
window, bold and true. That's Jim Kramer driving Big Blue straight through. Driving Big Blue straight through. St. Louis, Missouri, hear that sound? Bigfoot rolling when Jim Kramer's around. One arm out the window, steady and true. Jim Kramer showing how Bigfoot moves.
All right, man. There you go. The legend himself. There you go. So, got a couple of new songs that we're working on right now. I'm going to let you hear one of them right here. We might have played this on Friday. I'm not sure. But this one here is called Two-Steppin' on a Honky Tonk Saturday Night.
All week just for the weekend, punching clocks, counting down the time. Me and the boys, yeah, we're all leaning toward a jukebox and a neon sign. The girls will be there looking sharp and dressed just right. New outfits glowing under neon light, looking for a belt buckle they can make shine bright on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Screen door swings and the smoke rolls in, bar stools scrape on a hardwood floor. You can feel that buzz right under your skin like you've been here 1,000 times before. Yeah, we're two-stepping on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Band fires up, man, it's feeling just right. Cold beer clinking under sawdust lights, hearts beating time to a fiddle tide. Laughs get loud, worries fade out of sight. Every wrong feels a little more right. Yeah, we're two-stepping on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Band hits the stage, drummer counts it down. Steel guitar starts crying sweet. Boot heels thump as the floor goes round, spinning circles down to the beat. Strangers smile like they've been friends for years. Hands in the air, not a care nowhere. Every song sounds better when you're right here. And the night's still young, yeah, the coast is clear. Bartender grins, pours another round. Someone laughs at an old inside joke. That little red dress is spinning me around under them lights and a little bit of smoke. Yeah, we're two-stepping on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Neon humming like it's holding us tight. Long week gone by, the second chorus hits. Yeah, this is as good as it gets. Hands held close, boots moving just right. Every dream feels with inside. Yeah, we're two-stepping on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Ain't nobody checking clocks anymore. Ain't nobody thinking about Monday blues. If there's heaven hid behind a screen door, it probably sounds just like this tune. Fiddle screams, crowd yells one more song. Sweat on the wall, but we don't mind. Hold her close while the night rolls on, trying to slow down time. Yeah, we're two-stepping on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Band still playing like it's the last light. Boots worn down, but the spirit's high. Moon hanging low in a Texas sky. If tomorrow comes, it can wait outside. 'Cause right now, man, we're doing it right. Yeah, we're two-stepping on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Door swings shut, but the memory's tight. Still humming that song in the morning light. Yeah, me and the boys will be talking about that honky-tonk
Saturday night.
Well, there you go. Two-stepping on a honky-tonk Saturday night. Lee, I hope the boys make it home okay. I'm sure they're safe and sound and everything like that. That snow up on 80 can be tough, man. So I'll be saying a little prayer for them boys tonight for sure, guaranteed. But, guys, I just had such a good time tonight. Laughing, the interaction between everybody on Facebook and Amber and I, and just the whole show was just... I have to put it in the top two for sure, guaranteed in the top two. I think she's neck and neck with Brant Arnold, and Brant and I just have a little bit longer history, so we have a few more stories, but I tell you what, I really, as far as audience participation tonight, I give that a full 100% the best show there was. So I just really appreciate Amber. And hey, guys, if anybody's on Facebook and you see any of the trucks that Amber was out there driving, you know, she doesn't have very much from her past and stuff. And I think everybody should have some stuff from their past if they were in any kind of this sport or any sport, really. Let me know. Just email me a link or something. I want to get her some stuff and send it to her so she can put it in her shop and stuff like that, because I think everybody should have some of their past. And if you look in my office, I've got my very first suit, or not suit, but my very first announcer's unit track, whatever you want to call it, in here. It's on Cash Money, my dummy. I've got so many different pictures and different things from everybody, you know, and I think that would be cool. So if you guys are on Facebook Marketplace or on any of those places and you see something that you know was a truck that she drove, send me the link or something like that if you would, please. I appreciate it. So next Sunday, my brother from another mother, Taylor Delaney, is going to be on. He is track coordinator and announcer extraordinaire from the Monster X Tour. And we're going to be talking. This should be a good time, man, because you're going to get two announcers together. And we could go for a long time. I mean, you never know, you know. It's just, it's going to be fun. I know it is. And we're just going to have a good time. Plus, we're going to get to celebrate our birthdays together that night. Mine is the next day on the 12th, and then his is on the 19th. So we're going to do that. I'm going to do one more song that I come up with. This is called King of the Clay Strip. Basically, this is about a car that this young man inherited, and his grandfather was a big-time drag racer, and everybody keeps telling him to get the car back out on the strip, and because it has such a famous past, and he doesn't have the money to do it, and stuff like that. But this is called King of the Clay Strip.
Granddaddy's key in my shaking hand, rust on the chrome, dust on the land. She don't crank easy, she don't shine bright, but I hear her breathing in the pale moonlight. Ain't got a dollar, pockets full of air, bills on the table, prayers in a chair. When I touch that wheel, I understand this car still got heart, just like that man. She was a king of the clay strip back in the day. Thunder in a pipe made the fast boys pray. Trophies on the shelf, scars on her frame. She don't need money, she remembers her name.
Yeah, she's broke down now, but she ain't done. That 62 Chevy still hungry to run. Yeah. She raised the best, the kings of the land. Chrome Ridge boy with a money man plan. They lined up proud, thought they'd make a bow. She put them down easy, no problem now. Wasn't much of a race, wasn't close, wasn't fair. By a half track gone, she was already there. Didn't just win, didn't squeak by a boast. Granddaddy Chevy was a true blue beast. She was a king of the clay strip, crowned in smoke. Left grown men quiet, left engine broke. Gold cup shining under county fair lights. Every win earning a Saturday night. Yeah, she's tired and rough, but she ain't done. That 62 Chevy still hungry to run. Hey! Tell stories money can't buy. White numbers, black ties, fire in her eye. Mississippi nights with the crowd packed tight. When that bubble top launched, it erased the light. I got grease on my hands, hoping my chest one bolt at a time. I'm doing my best. Same dirt floor, same stubborn plan, same kind of faith my granddad had. Ain't about the money, ain't about the shine. It's blood and steel and borrowed time. She don't brag loud, she don't scream or boast. Real beast went quiet, then leave a ghost. She was a king of the Mississippi Strip, meanest soul ever wrapped in steel and grip. They may forgot her, but I never will. Legends don't die, they just sit still. When she rose again on the southern sun, that 62 Chevy gon' remind them who won. Yeah, true bass. Pure heart, Mississippi, remember. Mississippi remembers.
Oh, wow, right there. I see my brother Larry Swim is on there. Hello, my brother. I think it's time we do our tribute show, Larry. I'll call you and we'll try to get something in the books and get on there, but I think it's time that it's I'm better to talk about it a little bit, so I'm sure we'll have our tough times, but I definitely want to get that one out there and just pay tribute to our brother, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play this last song, and then we're going to get out of here. This goes out to any driver that has ever spent any time on the road in a monster truck and hauling a monster truck and everything like that. This is called Life on the Road. We'll be right back with the final conclusion of Pedal to the Metal.
Rolling out at sunrise, my diesel humming low. Arena lights are waiting, another town to go. Motels and mile markers, truck stop coffee strong. Crowds will cheer for minutes, But the road goes on so long, it's life on the road. Behind the wheel and steel, living for the thunder. The roar is all I feel. From the sleeper to the spotlight, it's the only life I know. But I'm missing home and family each mile I go. Grease-stained hands and late nights, the crew is family too. We chase the fire and fury just to bring the show to you. Long hours on the highway, chasing down a monster truck. Driver's dream, a hero for the moment, then I'm gone like gasoline. It's life on the road, behind the wheel and steel, living for the thunder. The roar is all I feel. From the sleeper to the spotlight, it's the only life I know. But I'm missing home and my family each mile I go. The crowd don't see the silence when the engine's cooling down, or the calls I miss from my family at midnight when I'm not around. But when that starter drops the flag and the monster truck comes alive, for a heartbeat I remember why I drive. It's life on the road, behind the wheel and steel, living for the thunder. The roar is all I feel. From the sleeper to the spotlight, it's the only life I know. And I'm missing my home and my family. Now it's time for another show.
All right, guys, I'd like to thank my guest tonight, Amber Skywalker. I'd like to thank all my lug nuts for tuning in. I just had such a great time tonight. I just appreciate you guys so much. Boggin Racer, if you're on here, I look forward to your call, and we can get this show even more publicly known out there and stuff. So thank you very much for your help. And anybody else that's got any advice, I'm definitely there to listen to you. So this is Roller. I love you guys. I'm out of here, man. You guys have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. Have a good weekend, and remember, we'll be back on Wednesday with another great show, and then we'll be back on Sunday with Taylor Delaney from Monster X Tour. This is Roller. Peace out, baby. I pushed the wrong button. I guess I'm tired. I just pushed the wrong button.
All right, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Pedal to the Metal. I want to send out a huge thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and supporting the show. I also want to thank all of our amazing sponsors. You're the ones that help keep the wheels turning, and we truly appreciate you. Be sure to join us every Wednesday and Sunday. We kick things off with music at 6 p.m. each night, and the full show starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. until next time, keep the pedal down, heads high, and we'll see you at the next show.